on Syndra the following day. Udyr Jungle still being played. Of course, this is the VCS. I'm 𝘀𝘀cie𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀, and on the analyst desk, I am joined by Tim and 𝘀🐐. How are you guys doing? 𝘀🐐, let's jump straight to you. Week 2 coming up, and week 1 was it was just carnage.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's certainly one way to put it, right? I've basically watched every single game. I say watched. More or less, it's more of been me dying here while pressing buttons on OBS, producing for the league. Overall, I'm just very excited to be on the mic. It's going to be a first time this split, obviously. And I am very happy to be sharing the desk with both of you.
And as you mentioned, it's your first time being on the desk this split. Tim, it's your first time joining us on the broadcast as well. However, how excited are you to see some quality Vietnamese action?
I mean, I'm just excited to see it. I've heard a lot of stories and haven't watched too much this season. I mean, now I have watched the split the last week, of course. But I mean, VCS always was a very entertaining league. I would put it this way.
And so 𝘀🐶, the morning is already starting for 𝘀🐶, and we haven't even started game 1 yet.
Listen, I've had 1 day of break. It's just how it's gonna go the entire day.
Okay, Tim, I'm just gonna go back to you. It's your first day in. Who's your favorite team? Who's your favorite player? You know, there's always like a little bit of bias between casters and analysts, so I kind of want to know who that is for you.
I mean, as I said, I haven't watched too much this year, and for me, I think 𝘀𝗀 still, like, for their world's performance, and especially, like, it's just, I always have this 𝘀𝗀 versus Fnatic in the back of my mind, where they, like, completely cheese with the lane swap and everything, so I think they will always be my favorite team, like, one of my favorite teams in the world, just
Awesome.
for the performance of that game, and with that Levi, of course, as the crazy Nocturne jungle.
So what you're saying is I can convert you into being a 𝘀𝘀cie fanboy, like myself. 𝘀🐶 isn't a 𝘀𝘀cie fanboy. Actually, speaking of 𝘀🐀cie, we don't see them playing today, but I do want to get your thoughts, 𝘀🐶, as well. How well do you think they're going to do in week 2?
Ooh, that's a difficult question. I think we had a bit of a discussion last night, spontaneously out of nowhere, where we really said that, you know, 𝘀🐀cie is going to have a bit of a reality check. Because if you look at their strength of schedule, right, they've not really been playing against the best teams. Sure, they've got the win over 𝘀𝗀, right, but they've basically only won. I think one of those victories was a 2-1 as well against Team Flash. That's the one, which is the worst team in our league, and the second worst team in our league currently, which is VTS. Oh, they haven't lost that. Thank you, 𝘀𝗀x, for correcting me. Obviously, they are 6-0, so they are riding a very, very big high at the moment. We have to see whether or not they'll be crashing back down to earth. I think if that's going to happen, this might be the week for it to happen. Obviously, I think by the time next week rolls around, it's going to be the second round robin already. So this is the week that's got to do it. If not, they are looking to be in a very strong position going into the second round robin.
Now, you mentioned about it being a chance to essentially turn around forms. Let's start talking about our games today. 𝘀𝘀cie taking on 𝘂𝑇C Esports. And Tim, 𝘂𝘀cie, they are 0-3. They haven't picked up a win yet. Do you think that they can pick up their first series win against 𝘂𝑇C?
I think, yeah, I mean, they have a chance. I think they had one good game against 𝘀𝗀 last week on Sunday, and if they can maybe continue on that and maybe find two good wins here, I can see them. But I think they are the underdogs going in.
And one thing that I do want to focus on, 𝘀𝘶, with regards to this matchup, let's talk about the top lane, because 𝘂𝘀 coming in for BTS, he's been subpar. I think that's the honest way to put it. He's been down an average of, what is it, 22 CS, an average of 22 CS at 15. That's not a stat that you write home and say, hey, mum, I'm on the VCS, come and look at my early laning phase, is it?
Yeah, that's a big issue, right? Because obviously, I mean, you can call him subpar all you want. I've been questioning why he hasn't been subbed out yet, but I don't think they have a substitute top laner. So I agree. He's been, I think, set behind 837 gold at 15 because of that deficit. And like you said, not the best early game. And one of the main points that I wanted to focus on for BTS specifically is that this is a team that doesn't really know how to play from behind. they can play from ahead. We've seen them be able to really hold on to leads, to accelerate leads. But playing from behind is something that this team is really not good at. So if your top laner is going this behind, you're already seeing, the rest of the team sort of focus around their mid laner and their sort of bot lane as well. Which I think is fair enough. You have some really solid players in the form of 𝘀cie, 𝗰𝗋𝗄𝗎, and 𝘀𝗋𝗋. But if Ryuk is going to be such a detriment in the top lane, it's really, really difficult and really, really exploitable, especially for a team such as 𝘀𝑠BTC to go really hard in on. And it just makes it very difficult for you to win games.
And Tim, when we do talk about Ryuk and the fact that he is struggling, I want to kind of turn this into how can he get around it? Because so far we've seen Ryuk playing a fair amount of Kennen games, and for me, I can kind of understand it. Even if you do have a bad early game, you still have your purpose as a Kennen. You still are looking for those big slicing maelstroms that can turn fights. But are there any other champions that you think that maybe Ryuk could play weak side that will still be able to have a big impact in team fights?
Yeah, I mean, you always have tank champions. They're not in a great spot right now, but I think they are still playable if you find a good or a decent matchup. And then you talked about Kennen is a champion that has a lot of value. I think another one and the AD carry category would, for example, be the set. That even if he falls behind, he usually has a lot of tankiness through his W and still has decent damage, good utility through his ultimate and E. So I think that might be a champion they are going towards if they want to go into top lane. And then I've seen a decent amount in other leagues as well, like Gragas, for example, being played. I like that as a champion, just because Gragas can build different paths. He can go tank, he can go AP, and he has a lot of utility. So I think champions like those should be the target for him.
Now, I do want to talk about one of probably the biggest storylines coming into this, and I purposely left it for later on in this hosting segment, which is the fact, 𝘀𝗀, that Artifact has been confirmed that he is available to be played. That doesn't necessarily mean that 𝘀SBTC will play him, but in your opinion, so far 𝘀SBTC, they've been going with the dual top laners, as I like to call it, Emperor in the top lane, Hero in the mid lane. Do you think they risk putting Artifact in and breaking up this kind of synergy that is already forming? Or do you think that playing against the team that has gone 0-3 is the perfect opportunity to get Artifact up to speed?
I mean, you're asking me this question, and really all I can offer is pure speculation, right? It's already difficult enough if this was like in a major league, but this is the VCS, and literally anything can happen here. So putting Artifact in, I think de facto, but by default now he is our best sort of mid laner, with 𝘁𝗏 in a bit of a slump and 𝑑O1 no longer existing apparently. So putting Artifact in, if he is able to show that he is still in form, I think that is a really, really good thing that can come through from 𝘀SBTC. Obviously, they're not really going to need it. This is 𝘀𝗀 the Sky after all. 𝘀RY is a good player, but I think, even with the likes of Hero in the mid lane, he's still only playing top lane champions. But if he is able to continue that synergy that he is having with the rest of his team, I think putting Artifact in, maybe you just save him, right? And let him practice a little bit more, get back into form, because obviously coming back from an illness, it's really difficult to just hit the ground running.
Okay. Well, one other matchup that we should probably talk about is this jungle matchup, Tim. And that's Penguin, because Penguin is arguably, right now, based off the first 3 games that we have seen this play, the best jungler in the league. And how important do you think it is for Penguin to be able to put 𝘀RY behind, who 𝘀𝗀 was talking about is this almost kind of win condition for BTS?
I mean, we talked earlier that 𝘀𝗀 the Sky struggles when they fall behind. So if Penguin can build up any kind of lead, especially on 𝘀RY, who has been the main carry, I think it is an immediate win condition. And overall, I think jungle is so important in the early stages in this current meta. With Herald being usually a high priority for most teams, and just a gold lead in the early game, accelerating your game so quickly, that I think it is going to be a lot on him, working together with CBL usually as well, on the support position to snowball both mid and bot, because we talked about it, top lane probably is going to be win anyway. So if you can win the other 2 lanes, then it's a free game.
Okay, now I just want to touch on our predictions, because 𝘀𝗀, you and I, we've both gone for 2-0 for 𝘀SBTC. But Tim, what is your prediction for this one?
I mean, it should be 2-0 for 𝘀SBTC. I can't talk anymore. But yeah, I think they should easily win.
Okay, 2-0 from all of us. Okay, so For a second, I thought I saw on the animation that we were going to draft. So I was like, perfect segue, but no, we've got. Oh no, we are in draft. We are in draft. My mind is not tricking me. We are jumping on into picks and bans, and we're already seeing Penguins Nidalee being taken away, Spooks.
Yeah, we are seeing the Nidalee being taken away. Everything else seems to be more or less standard, right? We are seeing SBTC sort of focus towards the jungle as well. I like to see this because obviously one of the main discussion points that we did bring up is that Penguin is a really, really good player. He is our, I think, week 1 MVP. I think that was community voted, but still very valid nonetheless. So by putting 𝘀ecie behind, taking away his champion pool, it's just going to make it so much easier for Penguin to get his team ahead. And once 𝘀cie gets behind, it's really difficult for 𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀 to get running. So I like what we're seeing coming up from this draft, even though, yeah, like you said, the Nidalee is being taken away.
And Tim, it is Artifact playing in the mid lane, so we are going to be seeing Hero going towards the top side. So Hero was previously playing in the mid, he's now role swapping back to top. Do you think that could possibly be an issue for SBTC?
It is always a risk if you're bringing in a new player. We don't know how much they actually play together in scrims, so they could be missing synergy. They could be playing badly together. But I expect, again, like, they're probably playing one of the weakest, if not the weakest team in the league right now. And if you want to bring him in, I think now's the time to just build up the synergy in the Unofficial as well. If you want to have him coming in for the later stages and maybe even the playoffs of the split.
And once again, Spoots, it does seem that we are transitioning, or we're going to be seeing that 𝘁𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀𝗀 meta again. We saw it so often in week 1. 𝘁 on one side, 𝘁𝗀𝗀 on the other side.
Oh, no.
Please, 𝘀cie, don't lock in that Udyr.
No.
I will vault. I will vault on this Nano's nest. I will do it.
Oh no.
No.
Holding incoming in 3,
okay.
2, 1.
Yes!
Okay,
No,
it's a
dear.
LeBlanc locked in.
Watch them lock it in anyway later on.
Yeah. Okay, but we do have this LeBlanc locked in, and
Yes.
it's looking like it will be LeBlanc into 𝘀𝐿𝑎. We do know that 𝘀𝐿𝑎 is one of Artifact's favorite champions, his third most played champion competitively. He's got a 43% win rate on it. How do you actually see this matchup go?
What? Sorry, I missed the question. 𝘀𝑚𝑒 versus Artifact.
Yes, LeBlanc versus 𝘀𝐿𝑎.
Alright, okay. Obviously, 𝘀𝐿𝑎 could still go top. I'm not entirely sure what Hero's champion pool is at the moment. But just to focus on the side of 𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀, right? I think they're really happy with the LeBlanc lock-in. 𝘀𝑚𝑒 is a champion. 𝘀𝑚𝒁𝑒 is a player who is really good in enabling his team, right? Sure, he has the mechanical skills to back it up when he gets placed on picks like Zoe. 𝘀𝑚𝒁𝑒 obviously very notorious. Not going for it this time though, going for the LeBlanc, which will probably go around roaming. And especially in the early levels, is able to sort of get a little bit more priority over the side of 𝘀𝑚𝒁𝑒. So I like to see the 𝘀𝑚𝒁𝑒 lock in with the LeBlanc. I want to see what he's going to be able to do with it. Chances are it's going to be a whole lot more than if he was placed on something else like the Orianna that I think everybody here at VCS English doesn't like to see.
And Tim, with regards to the roaming that Spoots mentioned, we've got some in the form of LeBlanc, but we've also got two very, well, high roaming supports, the Leona and the Nautilus. And especially when I'm looking towards this Leona, if this is an 𝘀𝑚𝒁𝑒 mid lane, surely that is a big target for BTS.
They definitely want to shut on the 𝘀𝑚𝒁𝑒. I think it's a very heavy snowball matchup, LeBlanc versus 𝘀𝑚𝒁𝑒, so whoever gets ahead usually does have move priority and does have the push in the lane. So I think for both support it's going to be so important. Should the Graves go maybe jungle, then Leona has to help out because Graves on his own can't really gank mid lane.
Okay, well, we will be seeing if that Graves will be going jungle or into the top lane, but Spoots, this is the VCS, so of course it's going to be Graves jungle, right?
Oh, why you gotta do anything like this? I don't know, man. They hovered the Udyr. I'm not sure if that's troll yet. Right now, the Graves is still a bit of a flex pick in my eyes. Obviously, I think we have seen 𝘀𝑚𝒁𝗀𝗀 play Graves in the jungle, so I don't have a lot of hope. Obviously, Yulwei's not gonna like this at all. But we are seeing the Viego come through, and it's gonna be a very interesting pick. I'm curious as to what Tim thinks about this, because obviously we haven't seen a lot of Viego in our league just yet. I think this is the 5th or 6th game that we're seeing, because he's just not been here. He's been disabled, and now we're gonna see one of our best junglers pilot this champion. It's gonna be so fun. It's just gonna be so fun.
Viego is really strong, and then he has really good champions to pick up. Graves is a great champion, LeBlanc is a great champion. Even Leona is a great champion for him to pick up. More CC, more chase down, and overall he feels really good. He has a decent comp to back him up to one-shot one target and give him the reset. So I think it is a good pickup for him. And I mean, we talked about it earlier. Now 𝘁𝑚𝒁𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 and 𝘁 matchup back in the league, and please don't pick Renekton. Don't do it.
Oh, he's gonna do it. It's VCS.
No. No.
Welcome to the
already
VCS,
coming
Tim.
No. Why in my first game here?
It's not even the first pick Renekton, is it? It's not even the blind pick Renekton.
Yeah, and like, I think we're still on 21. So this Renekton isn't buffed, and 𝘀𝗰𝗃𝗀 isn't buffed either.
Yeah.
So this champion literally still is really bad. Really bad.
And
I will-
actually... Oh yeah, sorry, go on, Spoods.
No, I'm just gonna say, well, this is the VCS. We have some pretty good Renekton players. Ryuk is
Not one of them?
hasn't. We haven't seen a lot from Ryuk. Let's put it that way, right? Renekton is a champion that is pretty, I would say, low skill floor, right? Most players are able to play the Renekton, right? So if he's able to get in there, he's able to be their raid boss. I can see some things happening from this versus 𝘁𝗏 roster.
Now, I do want to talk about this Renekton a little bit more, but we are getting towards the games. That means I want your predictions for this game, and I want you to give a quick analysis of who you think has won the drafting phase. Tim, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I don't think my prediction changes much. I think that overall the draft is kind of close. I think they threw it at the Renekton pick, and overall they're very vulnerable to the Ken. They don't really have anything to keep him out. Yes, you have the Leona, but that's basically all. And if Ken gets anywhere close to the backline, it's very easy for him to just burst out the entire team. So I would say that it should be SE winning easily.
Spoods?
I'll be honest. It would have taken SBTC really hard inting this draft for me to predict VTS.
Okay.
And just based off the compositions, I really like what SBTC have done for themselves. I'm thinking back to Celebrity's Quadra kill on the Jhin we saw last week, and this is a really solid team. I think they're just going to roll over BTS.
Okay, there we go. We've got our predictions from our two analysts. We're going to be saying goodbye to Tim for now, and we're going to be doing a magic trick and converting Spoods into a color caster as we get ready to jump on in to the first game of week 2. Oh, I'm ready for this. versus 𝘁𝗏 taking on SBTC Esports. And what I want to lead into this with, Spoods, is talking about Ryuk once again, because we spoke at the start of the show how we were kind of thinking maybe he goes onto a tank. That way he can play weak side. But BTS have essentially gone with the complete opposite identity and saying, no, we believe in Ryuk. We're going to put him on the Renekton. Are they going to put resources into that Renekton, or are they going to let Ryuk try to form a lead himself against this Cannon pick?
Well, he probably isn't going to form a lead against this Cannon pick all by himself, but at the same time, I don't think putting Ryuk on what I like to call the default top laner of the VCS, because literally every VCS top laner should be able to play this champion, right? Is really, putting a lot of focus on him, right? I think you're leaving the top lane, you're just sacking it, you're saying Ryuko's probably not going to do all that well, Hero's probably going to get some form of an advantage. Obviously, they're going to try to not make their advantage be too large, but overall, nothing really changes for me. I think their game plan is still getting 𝘀𝗏 ahead, enabling 𝘀𝗏 to sort of roam around the map, try to get this Misfortune Leona lane ahead, and that's how versus 𝘁𝗏 really is going to be looking for this win.
And if you had any champion that you want to be getting ahead to snowball from the mid lane, it's probably that LeBlanc, because it's so simple. As soon as you've got one item, you start really deleting the backlines, and that's how you can set up for fights. That's how you can remove the likes of Celebrity and even Penguin. Both junglers starting on their blue buffs, which means that we might be seeing a gank towards the top side early on for SBTC.
Yeah. I think this is very fitting for SBTC's game plan as well. If they're able to get Hero ahead, and that's just one lane that you don't really have to worry about. Penguin is definitely one of the players that you should be looking forward to, but they're going in level 2.
Yep, Elio and Aomin going to be able to get to that level 2 first and utilize the Zenith Blade combined with the Misfortune double up and the bullets rain down. Not actually able to get too much damage off because Celebrity and CBL were able to sit fairly far back.
I still think though, even though we saw that sort of scuffle in the bot lane, the main focus is still going to be around the mid lane. I think if we do look towards the bot lane, it's going to be later in the game. SBTC is a team that always focuses on Penguin in the early game, Penguin is really good at getting them ahead in the early game. 𝘃𝗏, obviously, still the unknown quantity at the moment, still getting chunked out by 𝘀𝗀 a little bit. Shake off that rust, man, come on. And later on in the game is when 𝘀𝗀 really rises, so I'm not really too concerned with what happens in the bot lane unless this misfortune really gets a super unsurmountable lead.
Well, so far it's so good for 𝘀𝗀. He is playing arranged into a melee matchup as we get engaged on the bottom side. 𝘀𝗀 getting taken down fairly low as 𝘀𝗀 eats a tower shot. Deadly Flourish not going to be able to snipe down onto 𝘀𝗀. And now we're seeing 𝘀𝗏 making his way over 𝘀𝗀. That is an auto and a Q. Never mind, he gets a little bit of healing in, as I think he just leveled up to level 3.
Yes.
And 𝘀𝗏 is going to decide against going for a tower dive this early into the game.
Yep, they don't have to wave, they're just going to back away. This is obviously something that was always going to happen. If you're going to start your junglers in this fashion, you are going to be playing a bit more safely. If you're SBTC, you don't want to give any quarters to that dive, but they're just going to get a kill. Where was that? Oh,
Okay.
it's bot lane. A roam, okay.
Okay.
Oh, TP. Thank you, observers.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah. Well, that happened. So 𝘃𝗏 did not get a solo kill onto 𝘀𝗀. He teleported to the bottom lane and caught out 𝘀𝗀, who did burn a flash. So did 𝘀𝗀 actually. So both bottom laners burning a flash as 𝘃𝗏 teleported and flashed in for an engagement. We're going to get a replay of that here, Spodz.
Okay, where does the TP come from? 'Cause I don't. Oh, they try to go for the engage. It's a really good hook, and 𝘀𝗀's just gonna burn down here. It's just a free kill. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
happened.
That is certainly a play. That is certainly a play that I would have liked to watch in real time. Thank you very much, VTV.
Now, 𝘀𝗀 is here. He's playing LeBlanc. He's thinking, okay, I'm the win condition for BTS. Why is there an 𝘀𝗀 with first blood in my lane?
I mean, at this point, it doesn't really matter, right? If 𝘀𝗀 gets the back here, he's going to come back with more items. Obviously, 𝘀𝗀 with the magic resistance now in the form of that cloak is going to be a bit more difficult to deal with. But I'm just going to stop talking for a second. Nothing's going to happen here. What I was going to say is that 𝘀𝗀 should have a little bit more gold in his pockets because he was able to free farm in the mid lane.
We just saw 𝘀𝗀 getting spotted. I was trying to play the old sneaky tactic. Didn't realize that when you play sneaky tactic, you should always check to see if the brush is wooded, because it was, in fact, wooded, and Penguin was, in the end, able to get the upper hand on the BTS support. But for now, everything calming down once again. And sometimes we do see this in the VCS teams trying to play it sensibly, but then there'll be one play and everything will just convert right back into chaos.
Yeah, I think at one point,
Well,
this is going to happen a lot, right?
Yeah, Chains of Corruptions are landing through, Penguin joining into the fray as well, and it's just a 2v2 skirmish in the mid lane. Why have junglers? Just have a second mid laner, right, folks?
Yeah, exactly, and you saw 𝘂𝗶𝗹 around the mid lane as well, and 𝘀𝗏 is not entirely happy with leaving Penguin to do as he pleases. But yeah, exactly, that play going into the bot side, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me. Where they were able to get a little bit more of an advantage towards the Jhin and the Nautilus. I think SBTC's really looking at this to say, yeah, if we are able to consistently do this, we're going to be able to move 𝘂𝗶𝗹 towards the mid lane, unlock this Nautilus to go roam. And this is something that I think you brought up during Champ Select, right? Where if this Nautilus is able to go towards the mid lane, they are going to be able to lock down this LeBlanc a little bit more.
Well, we'll have to see whether the Nautilus does rotate. LeBlanc can sometimes be a slippery target to say the least. I think what I was saying was we might be seeing the Leona roam to shut down 𝘃𝗏, which now will probably be possible because 𝘃𝗏 has got a kill to his name and might be getting a shutdown bit of gold as well momentarily. But we'll have to wait and see in that regard.
Yeah, shutdown mechanics always very strange. You're threatening a topside dive. Ryuk, you're in trouble.
It feels bad when you're playing Renekton and it means that you are on weak side, but Ryuk actually played this fairly well. He just removes the wave in a blink of an eye, could look to go over the wall, does not have flash available, but there's another wave. Now crashing in, Ryuk back up to full HP. And as much as we memed Ryuk at the start of the show, that was fairly well played by the BTS top laner.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a lot of practice of doing this, right? But at the moment, he is absorbing a lot of pressure very well. We are seeing 𝘀𝗀 and 𝘀𝗀𝗀 going towards the bottom side jungle. We saw CBL try to sort of sniff this out. I think they would know that most of the camps down here are just gone. But there was a lot of wasted time coming in from the side of 𝘀𝗀𝗃C. And this is what I was going to say. They could have gone for the dragon, but instead they secure a little bit more priority. They get a little bit more in 𝘀𝗀𝗃C's jungle. And now they go for the dragon. And this is an objective practically taken for free. Only 𝘀𝗀𝗃's flash burn in the top lane, not even the kill going over.
Yep. Fantastically done. Penguin down to a sliver of health as 𝘀𝗀𝗃 is starting to feel himself just a tiny bit on this Renekton. There is a Rift Herald on the map as well, but BTS will be pretty happy with how things panned out. 𝘀𝗀 able to steal away a few camps from Penguin's bottom side, and you look towards that mid lane, 𝘀𝗀𝗃's got a rather healthy 23 CS lead over 𝘚artifact, even if 𝘚artifact was able to pick up that first blood in the bottom lane.
Yeah, 𝘚artifact getting that 400 gold extra is not really going to mean all that much right now. They are sitting on about the same amount of gold, but CBL wants to change that, it feels. A bit of a sketchy roam at the moment. Leona's towards the top side. It looks like 𝘀𝗀𝗃 is committing a lot towards their Rift Herald, the TP coming in just to make sure they can secure it. See what 𝘀𝗃𝗃C can do to stop them.
Yeah, this is not a good idea from the side of 𝘀𝗀𝗃C. Dredgeline will take CBL out to safety. Meanwhile, the Rift Herald is practically being taken in the mid lane. Will reset aggro as 𝘀𝗀𝗃C are making their way down. They end up having to go back up, and now it's a pincer from BTS. 𝘀𝗀𝗃 going on to Penguin. Penguin taken down. 𝘀𝗀𝗃's going to be able to get the kill. Now they look over to Hero, flashing over the wall. The curtains have been called. 𝘀𝗀𝗃 running for the hill. The 4-shot taken. Takes 𝘀𝗀𝗃 down low, whereas meanwhile, 𝘀𝗀𝗃 able to pick up a Hero who was scrambling towards his top lane tower. And BTS get 2 kills, and now they turn their attention towards the Rift Herald and 𝘀𝗀𝗃s. We said that if BTS want to win, they need to be able to get an early game lead, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Off the back of 𝘀𝗀𝗃C mistake as well. You said there wasn't a really good play coming in the mid lane. I thought that was great up until the point that, and again, I want to see the setup for that play, because why the heck were Penguin and Hero in that river? Because they could have just disengaged earlier, right? They peeled away 𝘀𝗀𝗃 from taking that Herald by causing a lot of disruption in the mid lane. But for some reason, their top laner and jungler didn't sort of get the memo, went in, made a very easy engage from 𝘀𝗀𝗃. Like, take a look at this. They try to go for the contest, but the Rift Herald's already being reset, right? 𝘀𝗀𝗃, all he has to do, pop the Dominus, walk down the river, and at this point, Hero and Penguin, they don't have a lot of damage. They're just going to get run down. 𝘀𝗀𝗃 gets a free kill here as well, and the rest of 𝘀𝗀𝗃C, they arrived too late because they were down at the mid lane, causing disruption. So I'm not entirely sure what 𝘀𝗀𝗃C's game plan was there. 𝘀𝗀𝗃, they're looking like they have a bit of a healthy lead right now.
And 𝘀𝗀𝗃C, they say if CBL's not enough for the gank, we'll bring Penguin along as well. But the issue is, 𝘀𝗀𝗃's got a distortion. It's really hard to lock down this LeBlanc unless you're going for a tower dive.
Yeah, and they're just gonna do a little bit more warding. It's a measurable amount of wasted time, right? I think this is the 3rd time they've sort of committed a player into sort of just shadowing the mid lane, even though there wasn't really any real chance for a gank. Penguin moving towards the bot side, though, this is certainly a little bit more of a chance of a gank. I think they might be going for a bit of a lane setup, or he's just gonna back away. But yeah, 𝘀𝗀𝗃C is looking shakier than I would have expected. Let's put it that way.
And I think one of the issues for 𝘀𝗀𝗃C is they brought 𝘚artifact back into the team, and they're trying to go back to, okay, we want to play around 𝘚artifact. He's one of the best mid laners in the league, arguably the best player on the team as well, if you exclude Penguin anyway, who's had a phenomenal opening week. And they're thinking, okay, we need to play around 𝘚artifact, but they're forgetting, well, 𝘀𝗀𝗃's on a LeBlanc. You're not going to be able to do much, and as a result, they're kind of ignoring this bottom lane, and 𝘀𝗀𝗃's already got a 20 CS lead over 𝘀𝗀𝗃. If they had maybe put more pressure into this bottom lane, where you've got great gank setup with a Nautilus hook into a Deadly Flourish, 𝘀𝗀𝗃 could be 2-0 by now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw that setup exactly happen. There was the Nautilus hook into Deadly Flourish into teleport from Irelia. That's not exactly who you wanted to go down towards the bot side, but it absolutely happened. So we are seeing the Rift Herald come towards the mid lane. No ego Rift Herald this time. I'm still having whispers of that in my memory, but they are going to secure the Tara plates. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I think to your point about the bot lane,
okay, 𝘀𝗀𝗃's just going to go in onto Hero. Slicing Maelstrom's been used. 𝘀𝗀𝗃 gets the kill. He slices his way out. What happened to week 1 Ryuk? I'm loving week 2 Ryuk so far. Meanwhile, engaged on the bottom side, Vanguard's edge comes through. Best BTC are getting deleted. The curtain call doesn't get anyone from the side of BTS. And it's 4 kills. It's a triple kill for 𝘀𝗻. We talked about how SBTC need to play towards this bottom side of the map. All of a sudden, we get a skirmish on the bottom side, but it's BTS who come out on top.
Yeah, they sort of dive towards the top side, and my hunch is that they got a little bit desperate. They're saying, okay, this game is starting to slip out of our hands. We need to make something happen now. Flash hook over the wall gets absolutely nothing from the Nautilus, and it just puts them in such a huge detrimental position to start off that team fight. A really good bullet time coming from the Misfortune just completely seals the deal, and we are seeing 𝘀𝘀𝘀𝗀 now. But I think this is 4k gold ahead, and yeah, I just want to loop this all the way back to that point you said about the bot lane, right? It's not gonna matter how far ahead this Jhin is in CS. We ignore the 3 kills on the Misfortune.
Yeah.
We see how far this Renekton is ahead. This Jhin is gonna do absolutely nothing if there is a huge crocodile in his face. And I think that is the game plan that was going through from 𝘀𝘀𝘀𝗀 until SBTC just, let's be real, just entered into them.
You want to know another thing about that fight that we didn't talk about, is we're going to get a replay of this. We'll talk about this play first, because Ryuk just doesn't care.
Yep.
He just goes in.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing the VCS default top laner, right? You should know you should be able to go for that, right? Cannon's very squishy,
This
but
fight,
yeah.
by the way, this is a 3v4.
Yes.
𝘀𝑺 doesn't do anything here.
Yes.
That's
I mean,
scary.
it is scary to a point, yes, but 𝘀𝗻 was really just allowed to sit there and press R, and
True.
that's where all the damage came from. I get your point, right? That is very scary, but it's scarier to me that SBTC is committing to that rather than the side of 𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀 being able to pull that off, right? Because if it's sort of just catching the throw, right? It's something that we've seen a lot in the VCS. And to 𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀's credit, right? It's not something that they would be doing super well. I think they got a kill on Artifact as well.
Oh,
That's what.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice solo flare. And this is what we were talking about, right? We want to see those roams from the Leona, but we're getting the full BTS roam towards the mid lane, because if there is no minion wave, kind of like if there isn't a minion wave for a Yasuo, that really has no mobility that they can use.
And yeah, it's looking pretty dire for the side of SBTC, at least for the next 5 minutes. All they can do at the moment is sort of stem the bleeding, because if we take a look at where the gold is on the side of 𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀, it's going to be on the Renekton, it's going to be on a Misfortune. It's going to be very difficult for SBTC to look for any sort of victories in team fights because of, you know, where the gold is currently situated. This LeBlanc, sure, if she was a little bit more fed, yeah, it would be a bit more of a 1-4 threat, but at the moment, it is going to be purely team fights from 𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀. I think they know this. They sort of just committed all 5 members towards the mid lane earlier, so they are going to be looking for kills and looking to accelerate their lead by just clumping together and saying, we're going to beat you with our wallets.
Well, the wallets for BTS are fairly large right now. Okay, so how can the side of SBTC kind of cut those wallets, make those wallets unimportant, and find a way back into this game?
Yeah, I think the main issue right now is if you're able to either set Misfortune or the Renekton behind, that is going to make your life a lot easier for the side
𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀
of
coming in from
SBTC.
behind. We've got a teleport as well. Celebrity just gets a bopped. Wow, Vanguard's edge flashed away by 𝘀𝗻. 𝘀𝗻 just tanking all of this up. The bullet time here gets deleted. Penguin will fall as well. CBL next on the menu. He'll take the dredge line, but he will die to the bullet from 𝘀𝗻. And BTS get another 4 kills for nothing. This game is starting to look like it is over and done. An 8k goal lead at 16 minutes in.
Yeah, a very, very dominant showing coming in from 𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀. SBTC, they say, okay, maybe they're still getting a little bit desperate, right, 𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀? They're going for the Rift Herald, but they don't clear the vision. They know that Ryuk's towards the bot side. They know Ryuk has TP, I assume. But they go for the play anyway. They sort of just throw all their eggs into the Rift Herald basket, not even knowing what that Rift Herald's going to do for them. But 𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀, they've got priority over the mid lane. They're just going to walk down. 𝘀𝑺's on the flank. The TP comes down. What are you going to do on the side of SBTC? You're just going to run. We see a very nice slicing Maelstrom coming in from Hero, but it just gets flashed away from. And at this point, the wallets come through, man. It's just going to be 𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀 running down SBTC, and it's... SBTC, what are you doing, man?
I'm going to be honest with you, Spoots. That's not a wallet. That's a full-grown 50-year saving account with pension scheme included, just absolutely berating the side of SBTC, who don't stand a chance right now. I mean, this is practically a perfect game as well. This has been the most one-sided game of the VCS Winter Split. I have no doubts in my mind about that. This is just a phenomenal showing from BTS.
Yeah, this is definitely a worthy contender, if not the title holder itself, right? And the most painful thing for me about all of this is that it's not even just it's not even 𝘀𝘀_𝗀𝗃, you know, being super proactive about it, right? We saw SBTC just sort of int a couple of plays into 𝘀𝘀_𝗀𝗃. Credit where credit is due. 𝘀𝘀_𝗀𝗃 has been really good at catching these sorts of throws. But you can't just rely on throws forever, right? 𝘀𝘀's in a bit of a spicy position.
Does he get caught? Okay, that's a deadly flourish onto him. He still has the ultimate available. SBTC not committing, but just look at BTS. They're just pushing in the bottom lane. They don't care about this mid lane. They're going to get an inhibitor tower at 18 minutes in, and now they're just going to walk towards the Drake.
Yeah, what's there even to say about that, right? SBTC, they're saying, alright, we gotta get at least something back. They try to commit a lot of members towards the mid lane. They try to go for that mid tower, and they might be looking for this fight. But at this point in the game, you just straight up don't win. They don't even have vision over the dragon. I don't know if they know it's being taken. It's just gone.
I laugh if BTS know what's going on and they just collapse into this brush. Yeah, I'm trying to remember which team it was where they tried to do a death brush in one of the lane brushes, but it had been warded somewhere and they knew that the entire team had gone, so they just drop a rumble ultimate into the brush and just murder everyone who is trying to do the death brush.
That wasn't in VCS, was it? No, at least
it wasn't VCS. This is a play from like 2017 or something.
2017? Probably Fnatic.
You know what? It might have been, but I'm pretty sure it had a Korean team. I think maybe T1 was in it, maybe ROX Tigers. I don't think it was that semi-final series, but I'm not sure at this point. 𝘀𝘀, well, to be honest, I think Penguin might die. He's going to burn the ult. Burst the sky, burst the ult. SBTC, they're not looking very good. We made some jokes, didn't we, when BTS played against 𝘀𝗏 and BTS were winning. We were making like burst this joke, and now it's burst the SBTC for BTS.
Burst chicken.
We burst the chicken.
Burst chicken. I mean, super big time chicken. I mean, they're just it's super big time chicken, but they're just like expanding the chicken. They're like,
what is a super big time chicken?
That's what SBTC stands for.
Penguin.
It's canon. It's canon. Burst the penguin. Yeah, penguin's also a bird, so they're just bursting the birds. That's literally what they're doing this game, and we're making memes because this game is basically over, right? SBTC, they've just not been showing the sort of mental strength that you really need to be able to come back in from this sort of deficit. And 𝘀𝘀_𝗀𝗃, man, they're just taking a victory lap. This is going to be a free Baron. I don't think they're going to need much else in order to end this game. It's just going to be Baron taken. There is no ward from the side of SBTC. They're just going to look for the fight onto 𝘀𝘀, I think.
To be honest, at this point, Rio going over the wall, just going to go in, solar flare onto 2. It doesn't matter if you use a slicing maelstrom. SBTC, you're not champions right now. You're minions. And minions don't beat champions. Not even if you're a Baron-empowered super minion like Artifact might think he is. That's a slow one to CBL.
Oh, no.
CBL just gets popped. 𝘀𝑀 able to find the deadly flourish. Oh, not deadly flourish. Zenith Blade, Celebrity. It's just game at this point. BTS. Where was BTS in week 1? Over the wall from 𝘀𝘀. They're not even going to try to end. They're actually going to recall. And I think BTS, they're saying, look, this is the most dominant game we've had all split. This is the most dominant game anyone's had all split. We're going to enjoy this. We're going to get the popcorn out. We're going to sit through the credit sequence. All of that.
Yeah, and you pointed this out earlier, 𝘀𝘀. This is more or less as perfect of a game as you're ever going to get here in the VCS. Only the single 1-kill first blood even going to the side of SBTC, but it's all been downhill from there. And 𝘀𝘀_𝗀𝗃, yeah, I'm not entirely sure what we have to say about this replay. It's just going to be 𝘀𝘀 sort of, in quotation marks, getting caught out. But Ryuk just goes over the wall. He's saying, alright, I've been bullied to death so many damn times in this goddamn league. I am going to turn it around. Pops the dominance, goes over the wall, just completely destroys Hero. And I'm sort of playing by playing this fight as well because there's not much to
No, there
analyze,
isn't.
right?
So-
One thing that I will point out is that 𝘀𝗀𝗀 has been playing a really, really good Leona. We saw a great performance from this player on the Nami last week in their one win against 𝘀𝗀𝗋. He's sort of popping off again, once again on
Okay.
this Leona, and it's just going to be another fight.
Okay, 𝘀𝗀𝗋, 𝘀𝗀𝗀. Okay, so this time the Leon. No!
Oh.
Okay,
Oh, two
no
kills.
fancy feet, no fancy feet. 𝘀𝗀𝗋 going over the wall, gonna miss absolutely everything. Will be able to avoid the fourth shot. So something I do want to say, nope, never mind, I'm not going to get a chance because 𝘀𝗀𝗋 now looking to go in. Hero probably going to get popped. Ethereal Chains Hero able to get out of range. But 𝘀𝗀𝗋 still alive, still trying to do damage, still slicing his way through. And 𝘀𝗀𝗀 will be able to pick up 3 kills. They look for more 𝘀𝗀𝗋. Tower damage? We don't care about that. We just want our food. And the food this time is Penguin. It's a double kill for 𝘀𝗀𝗋. BTS, yes, they will sacrifice their supports, as supports usually get sacrificed, but they will kill everyone else. 𝘀𝗀𝗀 will join 𝘀𝗀𝗋 in having 1 death this game. The bot lane unity for BTS, but it is unity for BTS as they will take down the final 2 Nexus towers, and BTS will take game 1 over 𝘀𝑠BTC Esports.
Yeah, I mean, just a disgusting game coming through. 𝘀𝑠BTC playing well below their usual standards, but 𝘀𝗀𝗀 also stepping up huge, right? We said they were able to play from ahead. We said they were able to play from ahead as well, but now they are looking like they're very good at catching, right? They've had a lot of practice at catching throws, and 𝘀𝑠BTC have had a lot of throws to them that they were able to catch. I have one question for you, 𝘀𝗀𝗀. You've been asking me a lot of questions today, but I've got one for you.
Okay.
On Twitter, the other day, you said, what was it? The best analyst that the VCS English team has, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously, by doing that, you've now cursed yourself to not get a single prediction right
Yes.
this week correctly. So, how
Yes.
does that feel?
You know what feels good? The fact that I'm still at the top of the standings overall. So
Not for long!
Not for long, not for long. And with that, with my downfall as well as 𝘀𝑠BTC Esports their downfall, we will be jumping into a quick break. And when we return, we will be getting our analyst Tim's thoughts on the game. Stay tuned. VCS Week 2 has started in, well, traditional VCS fashion with an unexpected result. This time it was BTS that, well, bursting the 𝘀𝑠BTC Esports, a team taking a phenomenally dominant victory over the team that was sitting with 2 wins and 1 defeat in the standing. 𝘀𝗀𝗀, Tim, your thoughts on that? Tim, we'll start with you because you got to watch all of that game. You got to sit back. I'd say relax and enjoy it, but I have a feeling that there might have been a certain level of molding involved.
Yes and no. I think depending on from which side or from which team's side you look at this, I think from BTS, this was a good game. Like they played clean. They didn't do any major mistakes. I think later on 𝘀𝗀𝗀 was a bit caught out in that one mid lane situation, but they really didn't do any mistakes. And especially 𝘀𝗀𝗀, I think he stepped up and in a hard matchup still managed to just stay even and then later on even go for a dive. So I think it was overall from their perspective a really good game. On the other hand, if I look from 𝘀𝑠BTC's side, they were griefing on basically every position. So if I'm looking from their perspective, yeah, I think I'm molding a lot.
Okay, 𝘀𝗀𝗀, I want to go to you and talk about the new face to the block. Not a new face in terms of how many times we've seen them on the Rift, but at least for this split. Artifact returning into the mid lane. Yay or nay?
Man, it's such a I mean, we are seeing glimpses of the old Artifact, right? We saw that TP towards that bot lane play. That's literally the only good play that I can point out from 𝘀𝑠BTC. That happened. That was a good play. That is, if Artifact is able to do a little bit more, if their team is able to find greater forms of communication around him, then yeah, this team could probably come back. They should come back against BTS. They don't even need to do all that, right? They just have to play safer, not get as desperate, and I think they should be fine. But that is not what we're seeing in game number 1, and that is why they are not fine.
And then moving to the other solo lane, Tim. Hero did not have a great game on that Renekton. Do 𝘀𝑠BTC knee-jerk,
On the
you
cannon.
think, and pull... Yes, on the cannon, pardon me. Do you think they knee-jerk and bring 𝘀𝗀𝗃 back in?
I mean, I can't think about it. I mean, 𝘁𝗀 didn't look great. He should be winning that matchup harder. He had a bit of a CS lead early, but then, I mean, the failed dive came in the first one. And after that, the Renekton just completely stabilized, was even in CS. So I'm not so sure if it's a problem. Maybe it's just the matchup, right? Like Renekton can be very sturdy if you throw a cannon at him. If he stays even for long enough, he can stabilize his lane. So maybe the matchup is a bit of an issue, and they should have maybe gone for something more aggressive or more defensive. But overall, I think, I mean, top lane wasn't too much of an issue because 𝘁𝗀 was still even. And if the cannon goes even into team fights, into Renekton, he probably should do more than the Renekton, because Renekton should be lane focused champion. But yeah, I think the failed top dive that then put 𝘀𝗃 behind, I think playing around top lane was an issue overall.
So I just want to kind of rewind the time to before game one, because you highlighted essentially the win condition for BTS very well. If BTS can get ahead early, they're good as a team from playing ahead. If they're even or behind, it's questionable for BTS. There's a reason why they're 0-3 at the end of the day. They tried to play around top lane. They identified, as we mentioned, Ryuk being this weakness for BTS, and they failed to abuse it. Do you think going into game two, they say, okay, we messed up playing in putting Ryuk behind, we're going to do it again, but we're going to do it properly? Or do they try to play for something different, 𝘀𝗀𝗀?
Ryuk is the new 𝘀𝗀𝗃. They're just gonna do, no matter how many times this goes wrong, they're just gonna do it again and again and again. Every single VCS team is going to do this. They're gonna circle the top lane. They're gonna say attack this, and hopefully don't screw it up, because they shouldn't screw this up. Take a look at every single name on this SBTC roster. I don't even care if they go for the salty run back. If they play 100%, they win 100% of the time, right? My question now is whether or not this roster can reach their 100%, right? There is a world where we go back into Champ Select and 𝘀𝗃𝗃 is no longer in that roster. It's 𝘀𝗃𝗃 and 𝘁𝗀 once again. I wouldn't mind that personally. I just have concerns about what that would do to team dynamic if they actually go for that move, which I think could actually work out, because 𝘀𝗃𝗃, 𝘁𝗀, that combo has been tried and tested, and at the end of the day, they are 2-1.
Tim, I want to throw to you on that, because I do somewhat agree with what 𝘀𝗀𝗀 is saying, because I think it would help for this series, but I'm also looking at it from a long-term versus short-term perspective. You bring 𝘀𝗃𝗃 and 𝘁𝗀 back into play as the dual top lanes. It works in the short term, but all of a sudden your star mid laner 𝘀𝗃𝗃, he's going to take a lot more time to surely get involved in the team. So what do you think is more important for SBTC? You know, playing for this series and having faith in 𝘀𝗃𝗃 that he will perform at some point? Or do you say, you know what, 𝘀𝗃𝗃, we've given you a game, we'll give you another game in 2 days' time?
I think they shouldn't swap him out at this point. I think he didn't play great and he didn't carry his team, but he wasn't one of the major regions they fell behind in the first place. I think he was. I'm not sure, of course, who's shot calling behind the scenes. That's always hard to say, but he was put behind basically by the shot calling and by how they wanted to move over the map. And then, as I said earlier, it's LeBlanc versus Irelia. It's a heavy snowball matchup. If LeBlanc gets ahead, Irelia doesn't get to build up priority, and then suddenly your Irelia is much weaker in the mid lane. So I don't think he's one of the major issues, but I could understand if they swap him out.
They did.
And with that, we jump back into picks and bans. 𝘀𝗃𝗃 is out, 𝘀𝗀𝗀 the top lane, and straight away we've seen that LeBlanc banned away from Glory.
Yep, they're taking away the LeBlanc. They are saying, well, they're not entirely focusing towards Glory, right? Glory still has a lot of champions in the pool. If they go for the Zoe, I think Glory's Zoe is much better than his LeBlanc. But obviously, the elephant in the room, like you addressed, 𝘀𝗃𝗃's back in the top lane, 𝘁𝗀's in the mid lane. My question now becomes, was the communication the main issue, right? Because now that they have this roster back, this is a very practiced roster. If they are making the mistakes that we saw them make in the previous game, I'm going to be very worried. Why? My question mark now goes to Penguin, because Penguin, let's face it, really underperformed last game, right? And yeah, sometimes the players will acknowledge this. If Penguin says that he is not feeling his 100%, that he's not going to be able to be the monster that he was last week, sure,
Now,
whatever.
I'm really
Give it to
happy.
Celebrity Carry.
Now, I'm really happy, Spoods. We're going to ignore that Udyr pick. I'm going to pretend it's not locked in because the MF Jhin meta is gone. We've got a 𝘀cie. We've got an 𝘀𝗿𝗪𝗔. I really wanted to see an 𝘀𝗿𝗪𝗔 at some point in the VCS, and we have finally got it. But let's just ignore the Udyr pick for now, Tim, right?
Who?
Yeah, I don't see it. So what we saw at Worlds as well, and we're playing Patches very close. Interesting. Okay, so now I'm surprised because I expected 𝘀cie Nami, of course, to come in, and then Aphelios Lulu to be the answer, which we often saw at Worlds. It was one of the most played matchups at the World Championships, and I think that could have been one we saw here as well. But it is going to be the Thresh lock-in with 𝘀cie, which I haven't seen as a lane. I don't think they have great synergy. Usually mobile champions aren't great with Thresh because Lantern has less value, and Lantern is one of the most important things. And they're hovering the set as well. So I'm interested to see this bot lane dynamic between 𝘀cie and Thresh.
Now, something I want to bring up, Spoods, with regards to Hero, is when he's played in the mid lane, he's looked a bit iffy. When he's gone against good mid laners, he's been wiped. AKA that series against Cerberus when he played against Yado. In the other series, he's been fine. I think 𝘀𝑟ie's going to have a field day with Hero.
Yeah, even let's put it this way, right? He got wiped by Ryuk last game in the top lane, so I'm not entirely seeing the issue here. If he goes to mid lane and 𝘀𝑟ie just wipes him, yeah, that's going to be an issue. 𝘀𝑟ie is a very good player. He can get a hit on this Twisted Fate especially. We've seen Twisted Fate, I think, get 3 games played and 35 games banned in the VCS with something like an 83% presence or something. He's insane. And 𝘀𝑟ie with this champion, we've seen him play Twisted Fate. It's very difficult to stop him once he gets rolling. And Hero, going on to the set, I assume, because he's only been playing top lane champions in the mid lane, is going to, let's say, not have the best of days against this Twisted Fate.
And Twisted Fate with that range into the set. Now, Tim, so far, Drakthar, he's got a couple of games on the Udyr, he's got a couple of games on the Talon. He's lost all of them. And the stats don't lie. But then again, you can misinterpret stats, so I don't know if I'm doing that here.
I mean, I think that Talon is a bit overrated. I think he is only good if your lanes have push. So I can see why a team that is consistently losing games and maybe isn't performing in lanes wouldn't perform with Talon. And I think Udyr is just straight out bad as a champion. Okay. So that isn't great. We have to see how he performs. I mean, he does have the 𝘀𝑠illion, which usually is very annoying to deal with because he's really fast. And of course also has the ultimate. And on the other hand, now we again see the cannon, but this time probably on 𝑁𝘄.
Yeah. Now, I did make one note, Spood, which was Ryuk versus 𝑁𝘄. It's going to be a Jayce versus Kennen matchup. Jayce has been banned, so sadly, we're not going to be getting that this time. But SBTC really showing that they like this Kennen idea. And, well, we've got an 𝘀𝗀𝗪𝗔 with a 𝘀𝑠illion on top. What do you think of this matchup? Because I'm liking the revive potential, but I don't know how the actual 2v2 goes.
So 𝘀𝗀𝗪𝗔 𝘀𝑠illion is just going to be a lane where you're more or less looking for team fights, right? I think that goes by default when you go with the 𝘀𝗀𝗪𝗔. You're not really going to be looking for a lot of lane-focused plays, especially against the likes of 𝘀𝑇ian Thresh, right? 𝘀𝑇ian Thresh, if you recall, was sort of the main bot lane for 𝘀𝑇ian, especially in solo queue before the advent of 𝘀𝑇ian Nami. That was 2-3 seasons ago, so it's a real blast to the past. Overall, it's going to be a very aggressive lane. The likes of 𝘀𝑚ini and 𝘀𝑁, they are just going to be facing this challenge, right? It's going to be a challenge coming from Celebrity saying, we are the better bot lane, we're going to roll you. So 𝘀𝑚ini, 𝘀𝑁, just chill out, relax. If this lane goes even, we all win team fights 100% of the time. So that's what I want to see coming in from 𝘀𝑠ky. It's whether or not they recognize this win condition that has me worried.
Okay. Tim, you've seen the draft. Who do you think's won the drafting phase? Who do you think takes game 2?
I mean, SBTC should win. I think they have a very nice draft with good AoE team fighting. I think 𝘀𝑇ian's biggest weakness, of course, is his range. He still has a lot of damage, especially in the mid-game, and I think they can just roll the mid-game with the team comp they have. And I'm also worried for Ryuk because he counterpicked himself a bit. I think, overall, Gnar doesn't have a great matchup in the Ken, so I'm interested to see if 𝑁𝘄 can do more on this Ken in a good matchup against Ryuk than Hero could.
Okay, Spoots?
Yeah, I'm liking this SBTC comp a lot. I think 𝘀𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗀 is a very strong bot lane. They've picked themselves a very strong duo. In the mid game, like Tim has pointed out very kindly, they are probably going to be much stronger on the draw. And if this game goes to team fights like we saw in the last game, SBTC should win.
Okay. Both analysts going on the SBTC. I am going for BTS because no analyst has predicted BTS to win. So if BTS wins, that means I'm on the same points as everyone.
Is that how
the
that works?
analyst sheet. Yeah, it is. Because, yeah, if SBTC win this one, 2-1, then Rebel and 𝘀𝗀cie jump ahead of me because they predicted 2-1s. So I need BTS to win. But we are into game. And, okay, genuinely, I think BTS has some really nice plays that they can make, mainly revolving around the fact that 𝘀_RY has this big ultimate in the form of the Destiny.
Yes.
𝘀𝗏𝗏 can very quickly arrive to this bottom lane. And BTS can play around 𝘀𝗏𝗋, who, if he gets ahead on this 𝘀𝗏𝗏𝗀, can do absolute work.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen 𝘀𝗏𝗏𝗀 do absolute work in the VCS this split already. It's just, you know, 𝘀𝗏𝗏 being on this 𝘂eah that really what's the opposite of
Yeah.
sell? Well, buys this game from me.
Ruin?
Ruin this game for me. Yeah, if they had put 𝘀𝗏𝗏 on a better jungler than this 𝘂eah, which I think is what literally everybody and their mother is going to be saying, this composition would have looked a lot more stronger for the side of 𝘀𝗏𝗏. And right now, it's just not doing that. So we'll have to see what 𝘀𝗏𝗏 is going to be able to do on this 𝘂eah. But my hunch is that he's just going to be absent, so I'm looking elsewhere.
Okay, both junglers starting on their red buffs. And again, this is what we have expected to see from the teams. It's what we saw in the last game, in the sense that it means that Penguin will be looking around that top lane, looking to do something into Ryuk, whereas 𝘀𝗏𝗏 can look towards this bottom side of the map, play towards the 𝘀𝗏𝗋 on this 𝘀𝗏𝗏𝗀.
Yep, I will once again point out that you don't really have to do a lot for this bot lane, right? Just go even, just farm. If you throw junglers into this mix, right, it can potentially destabilize this bot lane, which is not really what 𝘀𝗏𝗏𝗀 want, because again, 𝘀𝗏𝗏𝗀 are very, very strong duo. So if they just sit here and farm, 𝘀𝗏𝗋 and 𝘀𝗏𝗀 will win 100% of the time. I cannot stress this enough. Just sit here and farm. Penguin knows this. He might be going for the cheeky level 3 gank on 𝗁𝗏.
Yeah, so Penguin's done a full clear on bot side, and 𝘀𝗏𝗋 and 𝘀𝗏𝗀, they will be expecting that gank towards the top side. They think that Penguin's on the top side of the map, so they might get caught out. They're going to see the flash play from CBL, misses its mark, but now it's all on the death sentence. Good flash from 𝘀𝗏𝗀, good flash from 𝘀𝗏𝗋, denies the flag and drag as well. The BTS bot lane will survive, but they burn both of their flashes in the process.
Yeah, ideally you save those flashes, but a really good ward coming in from the side of 𝘀𝗏𝗏𝗀. They are very aware that this is a possibility. They know that this bot lane is something that SBTC want to attack. They want to get this Lucian ahead. And by putting that ward there, by placing 𝘂eah on a path where he is able to shadow this bot lane, once this ward runs out, 𝘀𝗏𝗏𝗀 is looking really safe towards this bot lane. And I really like what I'm seeing so far. Sure, you lose both flashes. That is a possibility of a gank coming back from the 𝗁𝗏. But this 𝗁𝗏 has to go topside. They're going for a gank themselves!
Instant cleanser from 𝘀𝗏𝗏𝗀. The Flay will push 𝘀𝗏𝗏𝗀 away. And now both bottom laners have, or both sides have burnt their sum. 𝘀𝗏𝗏𝗀 just burning the cleanser, has the flash still available, as Hero actually doing all right into this matchup against the 𝘀_RY, able to come out on top so far, and has the CS relatively even as well.
Yep, absolutely. And we are seeing SBTC going for the back. I want to see what this Lucian picks up. If it's just going to be a few pots, I'm not going to enjoy that. It's going to be pots and a long sword as well as a ward as well. But that's neither here nor there. Not entirely the best back that you want to get. I think this advantage is still going to go over to the side of 𝘀𝗏𝗋, which is really, really good for the side of 𝘀𝗏𝗏𝗀. I keep saying that, but like that is the truth. Where else are you going to focus on this map, right? This bot lane, sure, I said it has to be stable, but this is the VCS. If the bot lane goes stable, that is something very, very notable in and of itself. But we are seeing both junglers go towards the top side. And 𝘀𝗏𝗏 having a noticeably better time against Ryuk than we saw Hero do last game. So overall, small wins for the side of SBTC as well.
Yep. Something I will say is I don't think 𝘀𝗏𝗏𝗀 bought pots. I think it was just a refillable potion stacked up once he had reset, because he had used both of them in...
Oh, he bought the potion. He bought the refillable potion.
Oh, did he buy them? Okay.
Yes.
So did he start with 3 health pots then? And the long sword?
I believe so, actually.
Okay. Well, 𝘃cie is trying to bait out 𝘀𝗀𝗀. 𝘀𝗀 just sitting, burning, waiting for an opportunity to go in. You don't want to burn too long because you might set the brush on fire. As 𝘀𝗀𝗀 now potentially being spotted out. Flag and drag gets the lockup. 𝘀𝗀𝗀 trying to run for the hills, but it will be first blood to a Penguin. The flay on 𝘀𝗀𝗀. He's looking for Penguin. Penguin gets taken down so low, but it will be a double kill for the 𝘀𝑏𝑇𝐶 jungler.
Yeah, that's absolutely what you want coming in from the side of 𝘀𝑏𝑇𝐶. Penguin picking up both kills. This is now a very strong 𝘂𝗰 for the next few minutes. Question now becomes, what is Penguin going to do on this jungler to be able to put the rest of his team ahead? Because ideally, you would have wanted 𝘁𝐿ucian to be there, so he gets a lot of farm. He's probably going to get a few platings unless he goes for the back here. So it's still going to be gold going to both the jungler and the ADC of 𝘀𝑏𝑇𝐶. Nope, they're just going to back away, but it's going to be a wave miss from 𝑎�YOMINE. But let's take a look at this replay. Oh, they actually get a kill top.
Okay, so 𝘃𝗀𝗀 gets taken down so low, and, well, the rest of the work is just done by 𝘀𝗀𝗀. 𝘃𝗀𝗀 was just a carrot.
Yep, just the carrot, and 𝘀𝗀𝗀 goes and gets the kill on the Udyr. So overall, 𝘀𝑏𝑇𝐶 come out ahead. Burst the Sky, they want to go for the early dragon. It's going to be Cloud Drake, which is all right for their composition, I guess. But 𝘀𝑏𝑇𝐶, they're looking pretty comfortable. They are going for a bit of a bush of death at the moment.
To be fair, 𝘀𝗀𝗀 is looking okay. Now, he doesn't have the flash available. He does have the cleanse. He's taking care not to push too far forward. I think he knows something might be up. Oh, he stepped too far forward. 𝘁𝐿IO is nearby. 𝘀𝗀𝗀 is going to walk away. 𝘀𝑏𝑇𝐶 playing this one carefully. Flag and drag not actually going to be able to get the knock-up onto 𝘁𝐿IO. He gets movement speed, but he gets flayed in. Death sentence not quite going to be able to land onto 𝘀𝗀𝗀. But 𝘀𝑏𝑇𝐶 get their third kill. And this game is going well for Penguin. This game is going well for 𝘀𝑏𝑇𝐶 because the plays that they're going for are actually working out.
Yeah, we're seeing it finally come true for 𝘀𝑏𝑇𝐶. They're getting their 𝘁ucian ahead. The 𝘂𝗰's looking pretty damn well, like you said. And yeah, this is a stark difference to what we saw from game number 1. Question for me is whether or not it was communication issues or if they're just now able to free up a lot more resources to go towards the bot lane instead of having to focus around Artifact. But yeah, Celebrity now being their main carry on this 𝘁ucian is doing wonders for this 𝘀𝑏𝑇𝐶 rosters. If they keep this lead ahead, BTS is not the best team coming in from behind, so they're going top.
Okay, 𝘃𝗀𝗀's just gonna get a solo bolo. Week 2 𝘃𝗀𝗀 is in play, ladies and gents. So week 1 was just brushing off the dust. And now 𝘃𝗀𝗀 thinks, you know what? I think I'm a fairly decent top laner. He's got a 10 CS lead as well at 8 minutes. 𝘃𝗀𝗀 doesn't get CS leads. He's supposed to be minus 22 CS at 15 minutes. Hero now getting engaged on 𝘀𝗀𝗀, locking in the gold card. He's going to try to lock down Hero as well. Does that. Hero will get a shield courtesy of the Haymaker. Good flash from 𝘀𝗀𝗀 to be able to deny the death sentence. And no one on the side of 𝘀𝑏𝑇𝐶 will die.
Yeah, a bit of a suspicious play coming in from Hero, in my opinion. I think he flashed on top of himself. It's a little bit of a reposition, but really gets nothing out of it. So, a little questionable overall. He gets out, and I think it's just the one solo kill coming in from 𝘃𝗀𝗀. Is 𝘃𝗀𝗀? 𝘀𝗀𝗀, do you know if 𝘃𝗀𝗀's like European or something? Because he's certainly getting a EU Week 2 buff at the moment.
I know what this is. It's not 𝘃𝗀𝗀, it's 𝘺.
Oh no. Would you like to elaborate?
Okay, so for those people who don't know, 𝘺 is a top laner for another team. He's a sub-top laner. We've heard many times that 𝘺 will be playing, but then he hasn't played, and we've always said, who's 𝘺? Is he this unknown entity that doesn't exist? Yeah. Oh, he has played. Okay.
One game where he got
You know
stopped.
what? Yeah, just ignore me. 𝘀𝗀𝗀 taking a lot of damage from Celebrity, who is now a mid laner. He said, you know what, we on 𝘀𝑏𝑇𝐶, we like to put many different players in the mid lane. It's now my turn to go mid lane. Artifact's been in the mid, Hero's been in the mid.
I think they get this out. No, they don't.
They
Because
do have Rift Herald.
Yeah, but the rest of Burst the Sky is coming up, so I missed that at the first glance. They should be able to defend this tower well enough. 𝘀𝗀𝗀 has to go for the back. But if this play gets a little bit more delayed, they have to force the TP. Yep, there it is coming through. They are going to get more tower plates, and there is a risk of this going down, actually.
That's a good goal card onto Penguin. They're not going to be able to land the double bombs, but they will be able to take down the Rift Herald and keep their turret alive. So far, it's actually okay for the side of BTS. They're only a couple of 100 gold down. they've still got the scaling in the form of this bottom lane, and we still haven't really seen any of those Twisted Fate ultimates into the side lanes just to be able to snowball this 𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀.
Yep, that is affirmative. I mean, on the side of 𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀, he's not been really doing anything. Most of the time, he's actually been facing an empty lane. If you paid attention to that bot lane, 𝘀ucian hasn't been there for the past few minutes. So we have basically, well, not seen since there was action across the map. 𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 sitting in the bot lane, just farming and farming and farming. He got 3 tower plates to his name. I think it was solo tower plates as well. So 𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀, even though he might not have the best CS lead at the moment, is looking pretty good because on the side of 𝘀elebrity, he did have to share his tower platings with the rest of the team. And yes, you said that, you know, 𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀, they were able to find, well, now it's even a slight gold advantage. Well, not anymore, but still. But let's take a look at where that gold is, right? Because your main carries are still going to be this, not Team Fortress, Twisted Fate. Yes, and this 𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀, and they are nominally behind at the moment. The gold that you have right now is on the Gnar, is on Ryuk, and it's on 𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀 on this 𝘀udio, which you will have to redistribute that gold at some point, because if not, Gnar and 𝘀udio are not going to win you this game.
You never know. Who knows what could happen here in the VCS? We've seen stranger things before, but no, I do agree with you. That gold needs to get onto 𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 at some point. Still early stages in this game. BTS have 1 Drake to the name. Penguin just hovering around the mid lane, but so is 𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀, who has decided to join 𝘀𝘀𝗀 momentarily. He drops a control ward, will spot out Penguin, and now we are also seeing 𝘀elebrity CBL making their way up towards this mid lane as well. And 𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 is more than happy with that. He's saying, you know what, I'm just going to sit here, I'm just going to chill, just going to keep on farming, keep on trying to pick up tower plates. Still another 2 minutes, 4 tower plates to be picked up as BTS head towards their 2nd Drake of the game. But SBTC might want to contest this one.
Yeah, this is good timing coming in from 𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀. They know that teleport is now free from the side of Ryuk, and 𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀 and Hero both don't have theirs, as well as 𝘀ury with the Destiny and Gate. So 𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀, knowing they have the numbers advantage, they just take the dragon back away, even though SBTC were the ones with the priority and vision advantage over that Drake's pit. So 𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 now with 2 dragons, looking pretty healthy. I'm liking what I'm seeing. They're stemming the bleeding. They are playing from behind.
BTS playing from behind? What is this? Well, in fact, they're actually 300 gold or 500 gold up now, and 𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 is actually going to back just outside of his tower, which means CBL and Penguin, they can't dive with. Oh. Was that secretly 5-head from 𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀?
I'm not entirely sure. I
lucky?
think so. I think what happened there was that because there's no ward there. So yeah, just probably instincts and 5-hit coming in from 𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀. Really nice. I don't know, back placement. Is that a thing?
Yeah, I think it is. Because usually if you back that, that's a bad place to back because the 𝘀ucian might step up and cancel your back. But I think it might have just saved his life there. Or maybe I'm overreacting. As Ryuk's not supposed to win this matchup, right? But he's having a bit of a field day with 𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 right now. As 𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 just having a field day with Hero. Now we've got the dive top. 𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 with a 3-man slicing Maelstrom. But can BTS get the dive better than how SBTC did it in the last game? Yes, they can. 𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 will take 2 tower shots, but will be able to survive. SBTC, take notes. That's how you do a 3-man top lane dive.
What is going on, dude? This is like 𝘀𝘀𝗀 strikes back in the form of Ryuk. He's had enough. He's calling his team now. We're getting a dive mid.
That's the engage, but the Zilean ult will keep 𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 alive, and now Penguin, I think, might die. Oh, the moonshot! It snipes Penguin down. The lantern is just too late. Wasn't even on Penguin's body. It's 2 kills for BTS. They're 2k gold up. I'm getting some bad feelings for SBTC. I'm getting bad feelings for all of us analysts who predicted that SBTC were going to win this series.
Give me a sec. I'm going to go to the Google Doc right now and change my prediction to be the exact opposite of whatever you have, because this is going kind of insane. Like, who came here today and thought, yes, 𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 is going to win 2-0 against SBTC?
Well,
they tried Artifact. We thought that was an upgrade. They go back to this roster. We thought that was an upgrade again. And it's just not happening. This is not only 𝘀𝘀 in the first game catching throws, this is 𝘀𝘀 playing extremely well. First from
Yeah.
behind to equalize the goal lead, and now that they have the goal lead, they're making consistent great plays. Like there's nothing else. That's literally it. They're making great plays across the board, and SBTC don't have answers for what BTS is throwing at them.
Okay, so you want to know what BTS is reminding me of right now?
What?
It's week 1 𝘀𝘀cie.
Oh no.
I think every week we're going to have a new team essentially role-playing 𝘀𝘀cie from week 1, just looking like absolutely unstoppable, even when they have a slight, even when they don't generate a lead early. But I did say yesterday that I think 𝘀𝗀 might be losing to Flash. I have put in the predictions that 𝘀𝗀 taking 2-1 because I don't think Flash can do it 2 games in a row. But
Yep.
I did say Flash, I've got a lot of faith in Team Flash. I think that they can do well. As 𝘀𝗀's got a lot of faith in his tankiness and doesn't really care what SBTC throw at him. Now he's running, he's looking potentially to go on to hero. 𝘁𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗀 is the focus right now. It's a death sentence that comes through. It's a good showstopper. Slicing Mails from 1 to 2 members as 𝘀𝘀 is now joining into the party. But 𝘀𝗀's still alive. 𝘀𝗀 will fall as 𝘁𝗀 just not quite able to get the best ultimate off. 𝘀𝗀 is the only member left standing as a good play over the wall from CBL. Death sentence won't quite find its mark. The ultimate comes through, but 𝘀𝗀 will fall. And, sorry, Glory was alive as well. 4 kills going the way of SBTC. Good job, Spoods. You jinxed the game.
There's my baseball. He can throw and a catch coming in from the side of SBTC. Just a bit of a mispositioning coming in from the side of 𝘀𝘀. And SBTC, well, they're there to catch. They managed to just, I don't know, they have a nominal lead on 𝘀elebrity. They have a nominal lead on Penguin. They capitalize. They get this Herald. And now they are the ones who should be in control of this gold lead.
But let's also just talk about that fight as well, because that was a very good ultimate in from Hero, and the fact that the Zilean ultimate didn't actually keep 𝘀𝗀 alive.
Yes. So it looks like at this point you should just disengage from the side of 𝘀𝘀. They try to go a little too deep, right? Look at their health bars. They are not as healthy as the side of SBTC. A nice hook and an ultimate from Hero just sets up the entire thing. 𝘀𝗀 goes in with his ult. That's a lot of AoE, and at the back
Who
of
did
this,
𝘁𝗀 ult?
I'm not entirely sure, but let's take a look at the rest of this Penguin. He's a very strong Jarvan, just auto-attack someone to death. Glory gets out with his TP. That's the only thing that 𝘀𝘀 still have going for them.
Also, the fact that 𝘀𝗀 had that ultimate up at the end and wasn't able to use it in the fight is slightly worrying. But it's also good news if you are a BTS fan, because it means that you lost the fight, but it was a really bad fight to lose in the sense that BTS weren't able to get a good fight off. So if there is another fight, if they are able to play it somewhat well, you can still expect them to have a good showing. 500 gold between the two teams, so it's practically dead even 18 minutes into this game.
Yep, 500 gold this is where, you know, dragons really come into play, because normally stats should be around the same area, but this 3 dragon advantage on the side of 𝘀𝘀 is just going to push their lead a little forward for me, so I would still give it over the side of 𝘀𝘀 to be picking up these fights. I think the items agree as well. I think 𝘀𝘀 are just looking stronger at the moment. But to go back onto your point, I think if you're on the side of SBTC, you just take any fight, any win
absolutely.
that you can get at this point, right? They're clawing their way back, and it is something that we like to see. We might have a bit more of a game on our hands than we expected 5 minutes ago.
We might have a bit more of a series on our hands as well. BTS as well, it is an Infernal Rift. That's a lot more damage that can be going the way of 𝘀𝗀. Personally, I would have loved it if we got a Chemtech Rift and a Chemtech Soul, because then that would mean that this Aphelios essentially has 3 lives
Hold your
instead of
horses.
the 2.
We aren't there yet. VTV has been strange, but they have not thrown us into preseason yet, and that is the credit that I will give them.
Yeah. Well, I can hope, can't I? Week 3, it could happen.
Oh, they're gonna get this tower, I think.
I think they are. I don't think 𝘁𝗀 can do too much. He's going to throw out some bombs, look for a little bit of poke. Okay, so SBTC just taking a couple more objectives. We've got Infernal in 2 minutes and 50 seconds, and that has to be a must-win fight for SBTC. Even if they lose a fight, as long as they can take that Infernal Drake and delay this game by 5 more minutes, that would be a big help for them in this game.
You know what this game is gonna come down to? I tell you what, like BTS is gonna get the last Infernal Drake. And then, excuse me. It's just
They're
gonna,
all
yeah.
gonna
That's how sick this game is making me at the moment. They're gonna get the Infernal Drake, and they're gonna flip it at Elder. SBTC is gonna get Elder, and we're gonna have an insane ending to this game. Boom, script written. Let's see it happen. Let's go.
Okay, so serious question based off that. Do you think? So who do you think has got more scaling? Or better?
I mean, obviously on the side of 𝘀𝘀_Sky, they have the 𝘀𝗿𝗃 looking down into Lucian. So
following on from that, do you think it's better for SBTC to say, you know what, BTS, you take the Drake so that the Elder spawns at a time where we are stronger in the game?
Yes, I think that is
okay.
Yeah, I think you just leave the dragon there. It's even more of a bonus if SBTC just doesn't get it. So just like leave it alone. Don't touch it. You'll be fine.
So don't burst the soul, essentially.
I'm done.
Leave the
Good day.
soul.
Oh, these puns, man, are gonna kill me.
We could do one for SE, you know, soul. I can't.
Eater.
So no, but they don't want to take the soul, do they?
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like soul levers, but I can't think of something that begins with E.
No, I think if you're on the side of SBTC, if you know that 𝘀𝘀_Sky is just gonna leave this, if they're just gonna leave the dragon there, I think you'd want to take it as soon as possible, no?
I don't know. I don't know at this point. You're the analyst. You're supposed to be answering these questions.
Yeah, that's true. I think they do because like if they get it soon enough, they're just gonna go for the Baron as well because at this point Celebrity is still very strong. I think we still have a few more minutes before Celebrity falls off on this Lucian. So if they get this Baron and then they transfer it into Dragon, by the time Elder rolls around, I think they're still in a pretty good spot, but they want to fight.
Okay. Glory's come from behind. He's forced to a flash, but there's a teleport flank coming in from 𝘀𝗀 on this cannon. The slicing maelstrom onto the members of BTS. 𝘀𝗀 will be kept alive by the chrono shift, and he's going to be able to start dishing out the damage. They look on over to Hero. It's a fair bit of damage coming through with the haymaker over the wall from Penguin. He will assassinate 𝘀𝗀 on the Aphelios. Will the time bomb be enough? No, it will not. It's a 2 kills for 2, but critically for SBTC, they're able to kill the jungler from BTS, and Penguin himself is still alive.
Yeah, let's take a look at where the pings are coming down, actually. They put down a few pings on this dragon, and Penguin, the absolute MVP of SBTC at the moment, takes down 𝘀𝗀, saves that fight. 𝘀𝘀_Sky, they wanted to look for more, but because their AD carry, their late game carry was gone, they were unable to do it, and this means that SBTC, with their jungler still alive, with their ADC still alive, they get the dragon, and now they are looking pretty comfortable just in terms of tempo. Let's take a look at how this happened. Hero with another good ult, just buying a lot of space for the side of SBTC. 𝘀𝗀 left to death basically there, and Penguin, he's walking away at the moment, but in a second he'll see his opportunity and he just takes it. Look at this. Insane mechanical assassin play coming in from this Penguin to just save his team the game.
It wasn't even the ult that killed 𝘀𝗀. 𝘀𝗀 able to flash out of the pit, but yeah, the Dragon Strike. It didn't even have to drop the flag. It was just the Dragon Strike enough to get the kill. Baron up on the cards, but I'm still holding out for BTS here because it was a close fight. It's a 2v2, and we know that BTS have this scaling composition. Sure, they're 2,000 gold behind, but the longer and longer this game goes, the more and more hope, the stronger and stronger BTS will be getting.
Yes, but the longer this game goes and the more fights the SBTC are able to win, it just extends the timer that Lucian has to do things on the map. And right now, this Lucian is in a very strong position still, while this Aphelios is still ramping up. So in terms of tempo, SBTC, it's up to what they want to do, man.
Well, right now, it's 𝘀𝗀 who's using the tempo, and 𝘀𝗀 split pushing and able to get an inner tower as well, trying to find a win condition. And as you mentioned, teleport coming through. 𝘀𝗀 is just going to stay in the side lane. He does have that teleport, but does he have many wards he can teleport to? There was a pink ward in the 𝘀𝗀𝗃𝗀, but it has now been removed. And instead, BTS, they're just going to look for Hero, as 𝘀𝑠BTC are probably going to sacrifice their mid laner. Baron down to 2,800. 𝘀𝗀𝗃 coming again with a flank, the same position that he used in the previous fight. Baron has been secured. The engage comes through on to 𝘀𝑎𝐿𝑖O. 𝘀𝑚𝗍 going in. He's going to be able to dash on out. That's a big ult coming from Ryuk. 𝘀𝑚𝗍 trying to sidestep the ultimate from Hero and does so successfully. Does he have the damage to get through on Hero? 𝘀𝑠BTC have been able to secure the Baron, and they will be able to escape the fight with 3 members alive. It's again a 2-for-2 Spoods.
Yes, and they're gonna get this tower as well. And I think, yeah, they're not done.
Hero's come back in with a teleport. 𝘀𝑚𝗍, what are you going to do? He's face breaker down, and his life is broken as well. Ryuk on the run, 𝘀𝑠y on the run too, and 𝘀𝑠BTC will be able to get a kill for their efforts.
Yeah, 𝘀𝑠BTC looking very comfortable now that they've sort of gotten the game in a familiar state where they know how to play. I want to get that replay up because I want to talk about that setup just a little bit. On VTV? No? Okay.
No? They'll give it to you momentarily.
There
it is.
Alright, let's take a look at this because we are seeing a very slow Baron take first of all, right? 𝘀𝗃𝗃 just runs in and buys a lot of space actually for the side of 𝘀𝑚𝗍. Forces Penguin to go back and answer because if not, 𝘀𝑚𝗍 dies. On the other side of the map though, we are seeing Ryuk attempt to do the same thing, but keep your eyes on 𝘀𝑚𝗍, right? He's putting out a lot of damage. He gets the 1 kill onto... No, 𝘀𝑚𝗍 gets the 1 kill onto the cannon, and they sort of zone out the... why can I not remember his name? 𝑠ET! Yes, that's the champion. But he TPs back in, and this saves this fight for the side of 𝘀𝑠BTC, right? With the flank coming back in, BTS, they didn't expect this, and it's just a very clean play coming in from the side of Hero.
I feel like this fight was slightly hinted by 𝘀𝑚𝗍 because he steps forward too aggressively to try to get some vision on the Baron, and as a result, he gets picked off. All of a sudden, if he chrono shifts onto himself, there's no ult for 𝘀𝑚𝗍. So I think he holds onto it. He ends up dying, and well, 𝘀𝑚𝗍 has no ult. He can't play it as aggressively as he would like. So if 𝘀𝑚𝗍 is playing a little bit safer in that fight, all of a sudden I think 𝘀𝑚𝗍 is able to do a lot more work for BTS.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, the answer then becomes, buy Guardian Angel on Zilean. You can't tell me I'm wrong.
So, okay, Spoos, I just want to introduce you to this item. It's actually the most broken item in the game because you decide when
Does it start with an S?
No. It starts with a Z. It's Zhonya's.
No. Same thing. I was thinking stopwatch, but same thing. Never utter that item's name again in my presence. I will.
Which is stopwatch or Zhonya's?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, you spoke about Guardian's Angel. You need a stopwatch to buy that, don't you?
I mean, yeah, but it's not the main portion of it. Come on.
Is it not the main... Stopwatch isn't the main portion of Guardian Angel.
It's not. It's the armor, because a Guardian Angel is armor.
Yes, and magic resistance as well, don't forget. They both stack.
No, but
oh, wait. No, there is no... What am I talking... You know what? I just don't talk about analysis points, 𝘀𝗍𝗃. You're an idiot.
Moving.
Anyway, back to the game.
Alright.
Oh, God.
Shall we analyze the games?
Yes, let's analyze... No, I don't do analysis. I'm terrible at it. We just determined this. You analyze the game state.
Okay, because right now my eyes are being still drawn to this Lucian. 𝘀𝑚𝗍 is... Well, we said Lucian falls off in the late game, right?
Right.
But 𝘀𝑚𝗍 has sort of extended his mid game by getting a lot of kills. Like every single team fight, he's been getting 1 kill, 2 kills, and this just sort of extends the timer for this Lucian. Not to mention in the previous team fight, right? He got the kill onto 𝘀𝑚𝗍, which puts 𝘀𝑚𝗍 behind, which sort of extends his timer even more, you could say. So this Lucian, looking pretty strong in the late game as well. If they look for a fight, I think it is 𝘀𝑠BTC favor. They are going for one now.
They are going for it. They're going on to 𝘀𝗃𝗃. He's going to flash away Flag and Drag. Not actually going to be able to find the knock-up. And for BTS, they're going to be able to stay alive. Moonlight Vigil comes through, takes 𝘀𝗃𝗃 down to half HP. Destiny comes through, who is the focus. They're going to be able to land some CC onto Penguin, who drops down the Cataclysm and picks up the kill onto 𝘀𝗃𝗃. Hero stays alive, taking the Blast Cone out to safety. 𝘀𝑠BTC get 1 kill. But I guess critically for BTS, this Baron buff has ended. They need to be able to stop the siege, and they can do that with this Zilean.
They do indeed. I think 𝘀𝗀𝗃 was given onto 𝘀𝗀𝗃, but yeah, this doesn't matter at this point. Look at that cooldown, it's almost halfway through anyway. But we are seeing 𝘀𝗃𝐶 now with the one-man advantage. They are going to go towards this top side. They want to go for the fight.
𝘁𝗃 going in, that's a really nice engage, but look at 𝘀𝗀𝗃, he's just getting run down. The stopwatch has been used, the forbidden item. 𝘀𝗃 breaking the rules of gameplay and stays alive, but BTS get a kill.
This is something that I sort of missed over the past few fights, but I want to bring up now because it's becoming more and more apparent, right? 𝘀𝗀𝗃 has not been having a lot of impact, and this is less to do with him being able to get in than, you know, 𝘀𝗃𝐶 being able to get him out. Every time 𝘀𝗀𝗃 walks up, it's a set out, a cannon out, or something else that just pushes him away, such as 𝘀𝗀𝗏 killing him. When he is able to do something, like 2 fights ago, right? We saw him get a lot of damage down on the cannon and kill Set, I think. But let's take a look at this replay. It's gonna be 𝘀𝗃 with the ult. 𝘀𝗀𝗃 is forced to flash. He's under turret now. He is absolutely no threat. And 𝘀𝗀𝗃, they've got no damage now. 𝘀𝗀𝗏 has a lot of damage. He's very mobile on this Lucian. He gets 1 kill, he gets out, and it's just 𝘀𝗏𝗶 winning yet another fight.
But is the issue also 𝘀𝗀𝗃 going for almost a 1v1 against 𝘀𝗃 instead of saying, no, I can't go for these 1v1s, I need to stick with the team, play with this main engage, and trust that 𝘀𝗃 is able to maybe peel these engages from Hero or 𝘀𝗃?
There's absolutely one train of thought that you could have, but if you look at the positioning back there, right, there was absolutely no way to get in. Sure, you could have said that, you know, 𝘀𝗏𝗃, and rather 𝘀𝗏, should not have been in that position at all. But we saw Ryuk go for the fight, and sure, he got a really nice ultimate, right? But he didn't get the cannon, and the cannon was in the lane. And the only way for 𝘀𝗀𝗃 to deal damage to everybody else was to go through the cannon. And we saw how that worked out. So that was not the best engage coming in from 𝘀𝗃𝗃, but they are going for a Baron fight.
This is the engage coming through. There's no cannon because 𝘀𝗃 has just been doing zoning work. 𝘀𝗀𝗃 taken down so low. The 𝘀𝗀𝗃 will bring him back to life. Penguin will fall, but he's got the Guardian's Angel. And 𝘀𝗀𝗃 is down. 𝘀𝗏𝗃 will be taking the fight. Ryuk trying his damnness to find something, but he's on the run. He's maybe going to be able to get a kill onto Hero, but he's taken down. And 𝘀𝗏𝗃 will get 3 kills for nothing. 𝘀𝗃 did everything he could. He forced 𝘀𝗃 out of the fight, but in the 4v4, 𝘀𝗏𝗃 were able to demolish BTS.
Get in the coffin, 𝘀𝗀𝗃. You're not allowed to play this game. See 𝘀𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗃, kill 𝘀𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗃. That's been the mantra 𝘀𝗏𝗃 has been playing the past few minutes, and it's been working out so damn well. They get yet another Baron to their name, and I think right now it's just going to be a wrap for 𝘀𝗏𝗃. Let's take a look at how this happened. 𝘀𝗀 looks for the Destiny and Gate to go in. CBL misses the hook, but it doesn't even matter. Penguin goes in. A nice ultimate from Hero, and look at this Haymaker, so much damage. You can 𝘀𝗀𝗃 all you want, but look at how many people are on top of 𝘀𝗀𝗃 right now. It doesn't matter. This 𝘀𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗃 is so squishy, he just dies, and when he dies, 𝘀𝗏𝗃, they have no damage. 𝘀𝗏𝗃 just run them down.
Also, did you see, Hero had cleanse. He QSS'd the gold card. I don't think 𝘀𝗀𝗃 was expecting that.
You absolutely aren't expecting that on side of
Wait,
𝘀𝗀𝗃.
where is the cleanse? What?
Wait.
I swear I saw a cleanse animation. I swear I saw a gold card from Glory Land, and I saw the cleanse and... Oh, Mikhail CBL, thank you very much for that one, 𝘀𝗃. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Fair enough. That's a good item. That
It is a good item. Remember what we talked about earlier? About the soul? Guess who's on soul point now as well?
Oh no, that's a lot of damage. That's 3 Infernals. That's stacking up. Okay,
Yeah.
this is a win condition. I mean, to be honest, I think 𝘀𝗏𝗃 have kind of hit their win condition, but
Yep.
there's another win condition coming in.
Yeah, their win condition at this point is make sure 𝘀𝗀𝗃 doesn't get to play the game. Like, you can farm all you want, man. You're not getting in any team fights. And if 𝘀𝗏𝗃 just continue doing this, 𝘀𝗏𝗃, they are in a very dire situation. How do you even protect this 𝘀𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗃? I mean, you don't have very tanky maps. Sure, you can put Ryuk in front of them, but Ryuk so far has been the main engage, right? And
yeah,
are they going in? No, they're not. He's been jumping in and ulting, basically. That's what his duty has been all game. And if he's just gone, 𝘀𝗃 is very squishy, mind you. So there isn't really any real peel coming in for 𝘀𝗀𝗃, and it's been so detrimental because he doesn't have enough damage to kill Hero or 𝘀𝗃 before they kill him, and it's really showing in these team fights.
Yeah, BTS trying to save this mid wave as 𝘀𝑠BTC just crushing on in. They're going to take the inhibitor tower in the mid lane regardless. They're going to pick up their second inhibitor of the game. And with this push, they might look to end the game as a Cataclysm drop down and Penguin taking the flag and drag out to safety. But BTS, I think, want the fight. The box has been dropped to buy some time. Dragthar on the flank, but the Lantern will take 𝘀𝑠BTC out to safety. BTS get a moment to breathe, a moment to farm up these waves, but 𝘀𝑠BTC got everything they wanted from their push.
So, 𝘀cie, you want to know how this game ends?
𝘀𝑠BTC just dominate the next fight and win the game?
Nah, why would that ever happen? 𝘀𝑠BTC get the soul, right? They flip for Elder, BTS gets Elder, and BTS win the game.
I love how your analysis is exactly the same as 10 minutes ago, just with the teams flipped around now.
I mean, if you want to call that analysis, that's on you. I'm just having a lot of fun because, yeah, like you said, 𝘀𝑠BTC, it's more or less a wrap, right? It's it was very shaky in the mid game and the early game. I think we can call a spade a spade. It's it was BTS playing very well as well, and they are looking for the catch on to 𝘀𝗀.
He goes golden with the slicing maelstrom ticking down. There's a lantern that has been dropped, but it's going to be a death sentence following. Dragthar will fall. BTS need to get these kills. The kills has been used on 𝘀𝗀. Now Penguin on the chase, looking for Glory. Gold card. Glory will use it, but he's locked in the Cataclysm. Flashes out. But the culling will cull his life, and BTS will start it as a pick onto 𝘀𝗀. Ends up in 2 members from Burst to the Sky dying, and no one from 𝘀𝑠BTC Esports are falling. Now a 5v3, surely the final play of the game. We aren't going to be getting any soul here, 𝘀𝑠BTC. It's just going to be the game and the soul of the BTS Nexus. 𝘁 goes in, but he's instantly haymakered. He's instantly ulted out. Hero will pick up the kill. Penguin goes golden. The death sentence cleansed away by 𝘀𝗻𝗋. Not enough damage to pick up the kill on to Penguin. The Nexus will fall, and 𝘀𝑠BTC Esports take us to Game 5.
Game 3.
Game 3. Game 5.
Game
I don't
3.
know. I want a 5-game series. It has to be a 5-game series now.
You want a 5-game series of this?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm loving this so far.
Honestly, yeah, I like the evolution that we've seen, right? This has sort of been, if you cast your mind back to, I think, 2016, KT also liked to play a comp where they had 1 AD carry and like 4 bodyguards. This is sort of like an evolution of that, where instead of bodyguards, you have bruisers, and like the bouncers just go to the enemy team and beat up your president so that yours wins by default. That's what I think we saw here, and sure, that was a really fun game to watch. I liked to see the reset come through, sort of having to reset the artifact effect. But 𝘀𝑠BTC, they're looking very strong. They ended their game strong. Let's see what they can do in Game 3.
We're going to jump into a break, and after that we will be getting our analysts' views of the game before jumping into Game 3, not Game 5. Who knows, maybe Game 5's in the cards, but no, there is no Game 5 in the cards. We'll be back in a bit. Stay tuned. Welcome back, folks. We are getting ready for our 3rd game of the series. Burst to Sky and 𝘀𝑠BTC Esports tied 1 game apiece. Tim, what did you make of that game? Because it was looking good for BTS at points, but it was looking even better for 𝘀𝑠BTC through most of the game.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the big difference maker here is Hero. On this set, he was... I mean, we talked about it before the game. He should be smashed in mid lane. He wasn't. He was actually even in a rough matchup. I mean, he's melee into range. Was doing absolutely fine. And his ultimates later in teamfights were insane. I mean, he was reaching 𝘀𝗻𝗋 every single fight and was putting so much pressure on him and basically made it impossible for their failures to play the game. So I think a lot of the win for 𝘀𝑠BTC is on him.
And 𝘀𝑠BTC, we were having a fairly fun time in the cast. We did some serious analysis, but we were also enjoying our fair share of memes. But the serious analysis of this game is, please don't pick 𝘀𝗻𝗋, right?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, please don't pick... Like, even before this game, please don't pick 𝘀𝗻𝗋. Like, why are you picking 𝘀𝗻𝗋? He does nothing. At the end of that game, right? You're not tanky enough to peel. You deal no damage. Sure, you run fast, but the moment you get to where you want to be, you die anyway. So just pick something else. Why are you picking 𝘀𝗻𝗋, Dragthar? I know you can play other champions. Play other champions.
Also, don't play the Talon, right?
Don't play Talon. Don't play
Okay.
Talon. No.
Tim, I want to go back to you because I feel like Ryuk watched back Team Flash from week 1 and Ryuk said, Harvey, that I'm going to replay what Harvey did, going from having a really bad week 1, or in Harvey's case, a really bad first series, then play Cinder in the second series and pop off because he looked like the best player for BTS in that second game.
Yeah, I mean, he was popping off, and again, it's a matchup he shouldn't be winning, and he goes around, he solo kills. There was one situation where I was a bit scared, where Kennen actually nearly got to get the solo kill onto him, and then his jungler came in to save him, and after that, he was just dominating. He was trying with his ultimates and team fights, but I mean, he and 𝘀𝗻𝗍, they played 2v5. They just didn't have a team at all, and it showed in the later team fights.
But going back to you, Spoots, it seems that, again, the catalyst for SBTC, the win condition for them, is Penguin. If Penguin can do well, this team will play well, this team will win. If Penguin isn't in this game, if Penguin is struggling, SBTC struggle.
Yes, I agree 100%. I think that first, was it? I don't recall if it was first blood, but the first play that SBTC really made where they got Penguin 2-0 ahead, I was super happy. Because when Penguin does well, SBTC does well. That's something we should look forward to in the third game, whether or not Penguin is able to get a hit. Because if they put him on something like the 𝗀𝗿𝗀𝗀, once again, he's a great facilitator. Not only that, if you cast your mind back to some of those mid-game fights, he just straight up won some of them himself. He sniped, first of all, the 𝘀𝗻𝗺𝗀, basically off the map. That just won them that fight. And in I think a couple other fights, he just walked down another few members of BTS on this super fat 𝗀𝗻𝗀. So Penguin, if he gets a hit, SBTC gets a hit. There are no two ways about it.
Okay, I'm not liking the fact that both my analysts are agreeing with my point. So, Tim, I'm going to go back to you. 𝘀𝗻𝗺 had a fantastic game on that Zilean, didn't he?
No, and you just wanted me to disagree. I mean, he looked absolutely lost. His positioning was questionable. His bombs were non-impactful, and his ultimates were missing. So yeah, I think all around not a great show. I think he had one good ultimate where he saved 𝘀𝗻𝗍 and they nearly won the fight. But other than that one ultimate, I think he was basically non-existent as a player and champion.
Okay, and a question to go back to the pair of you with is, I've been calling essentially the VCS so far the MF Jhin meta, and that's mainly because the Lucian has always been banned. This time Lucian wasn't banned. Do you think a ban needs to come through to the Lucian? And then the follow-up question to that is, do you think 𝘀𝗻𝗺 deserves to be picked, or should the teams just stick with Jhin or MF? Spoods, I'll go to you first.
Do I think? I think if you're on the side of BTS rather, there is a world where you ban this Lucian simply because 𝘀𝗻𝗍 does not match up to Celebrity in terms of ADC mechanics.
Okay.
We are going into draft shortly though, so we'll have to see whether or not this happens. For the side of 𝘀𝗻𝗺, I think it really depends what you have drafted for your team and what the enemy team has drafted, because I think that really came down to a bit of a draft issue. First of all, obviously the 𝘀𝗀𝗄𝗎 not being able to peel, and your only form of reliable engage being your main tank jumping into everybody else. So that just leaves your 𝘀𝗻𝗺s completely free to die. So depends on the composition. Just win draft, I guess.
Okay. Win draft things. We head on into draft. We can see our first few bans. SBTC, though, actually banning away the Lucian themselves. They don't want to leave that Lucian first pick open. And this time we're going to be seeing a 𝘀𝗀𝗺, possibly, or certainly, on the Xin Zhao.
God bless. I mean, no Udyr, and I think Xin Zhao can be a strong champion for them in team fights to facilitate them. So I like the pick so far.
Okay, and now we're getting 𝘀𝗀𝗺 𝘀𝗻𝗺s, Spoots, and this is what I want to see with an 𝘀𝗀𝗺s. 𝘀𝗀𝗺. We don't want to see a Zilean. I'm going to presume that an 𝘀𝗀𝗺s gets locked in at some point anyway.
At some point, yeah. I mean, it doesn't... Yeah, I like to see this coming in from 𝘀𝗻𝗍 though. If they are presuming the SBTC goes for the Jhin, I don't... the 𝘀𝗀𝗺s for the side of SBTC. I don't mind the Jhin coming in from the side of 𝘀𝗀𝗺. I think... yes, you would put it. This is a champion that you can play if you don't have hands. And if you're 𝘀𝗻𝗍 staring down the barrel of Celebrity, you might as well just assume you don't have hands, right? So Celebrity, if we want to operate under the assumption of they're going 𝘀𝗀𝗺s Thresh, this is a very strong bot lane duo. And I gave the favorability over to 𝘀𝗻𝗍 and 𝘀𝗻𝗺 in the previous game when I thought they had a more stable bot lane. I think the gloves are off, right? 𝘀ecie and 𝘂𝗶𝗹𝗀, they've warmed up. I think they're ready to go on this duo if they do lock it in.
Now, one matchup that I am very curious to see, Tim, is his top lane matchup. I want to see what 𝘂𝗀 is going to be on for his third game.
Yeah, I mean, this game he probably has a blind pick, I would assume. Last time we did see the Renekton coming out from him. I assume this game is going to be banned away. He's not going to get that again. I'm a bit surprised. I think that actually 𝘀𝗀 didn't play bad on the 𝘂𝗀𝗀 per se. I think he had a near impossible game, and I could have seen BTS just going for maybe Lulu or 𝘂𝗀𝗀 in this game. But in the end, they decide against it. And on the other side, it's also Jinx pickup over 𝘂𝗀𝗀𝗀, which I don't particularly like because I think Jinx is just 𝘂𝗀𝗀𝗀, but in worse.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Needs a lot of peel, needs a lot of protection, and, well, doesn't have a Moonlight Vigil to their name. But Super Mega Death Rocket can do work. Maybe 𝘀ecie is thinking that he's a bit of an artifact player, wanting to play some of these more fringe ADCs. By the way, we are into the second phase, and SBTC, they're respecting 𝘂𝗀. They're banning away the Renekton, and they're banning away the Nar.
I mean,
All
double
right.
respect fans. That's just 𝘂𝗀 just, even if they lose the series, I mean, this is just a win for 𝘂𝗀. He got double respect banned.
Yeah.
𝘂𝗀 is out here holding his head high, man. Let's see what else he's got in the tank, because taking away both his picks, this is not a very strong player once again. Let's see what he's got.
I'd say it's just a game where we get 𝘀𝗰𝗰𝗀, but the Kennen has been banned away.
Yep,
It's going
not allowed.
when going into 𝘀𝗀𝗋's hands in this top lane. Tim, what would you like to see as the answer for 𝘂𝗀?
I mean, with Gnar and Graves banned, I think those are two good champions. Yeah, I mean, Jax and Camille are the next one on the list, at least for me, that I have often seen the top laners like to pick, and it is going to be the Jax, which in the early game, especially first level, can be attacked by Gwen, but consistently outscales her and just runs her down in the side lane later on.
And Spoods, we've got this Sylas locked in. 𝘀𝗀 back on. I feel a mage that can really carry a game. Playing into hero set, this has been Hero's go-to champion in the mid lane so far this split. Do you think 𝘀𝗀 can win this matchup? Because he really struggled with the Twisted Fate in game 2.
Yeah, 𝘀𝗀's gone to the Sylas a few times as well. It's not really been much of anything to write home about. I much prefer if, you know, you put this guy on something that can roam slightly better. Obviously, Sylas is still able to do that, but there are many other champions that can do that much better because he really is a facilitator for his team, right? And if he was able to carry a little bit better on the Sylas, I would have no issues with this. However, that has just not been the case. Yeah, he is going to be able to steal some ultimates. I like the ultimates that I see. Super Mega Death Rocket, maybe mainly the set ultimate, right? If he's able to get some good, I forgot the name. Is it 𝘀𝗶𝗹𝗀𝗀? I need to do 𝘀𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗃 quiz again. But if he's able, yeah, 𝘀𝗶𝗹𝗃𝗀𝗃. If he's able to get a few good ones, yeah, sure, maybe this Sylas works out. But overall, I'm out here favoring SBTC's draft a lot more.
Okay, so Spoods preferring the SBTC draft. Does that mean you think SBTC will win though?
Yeah, I think they've shaken off a lot of the rust that Artifact brought with him.
Okay, and Tim, your thoughts?
I think the SBTC draft is better, and I would favor them. I'm not really sure on the Olaf. I'm personally not really. I'm not really liking the pick, especially if I look at 𝘂𝗀 and him. I think if he has enough items, at some point he will be able to just 1v3 topside. So
okay.
I'm not too sure how that pans out, but I think that is the only weakness I see with the draft.
Okay, and I'm going to abstain from analysis because, as we have already determined, my analysis is terrible. Tim, thank you for your thoughts. We will catch you at the end of this final game. Spoods, I kind of want win conditions. I want to know what both teams are going to be playing around in the early stages of the game.
Well, if we take a look at SBTC side of the map at the moment, obviously, like Tim has pointed out, Olaf exists. I think this is the first Olaf we're seeing this split. I am relatively confident on that stat. That's obviously an early game champion that can have a lot of impact if the snowball starts to get rolling. And obviously, it's Penguin playing that. We've already discussed how good of a facilitator he is for his team. If this Olaf gets rolling, the rest of SBTC gets rolling. That's what I want to see coming in from the side of the super big time chicken. But on the side of Burst the Sky, it's sort of around the same thing, right? 𝘀𝗀𝗃 and
Sorry,
𝘀𝗀.
what was that acronym you just used for SBTC?
Super big time chicken. I said it like 3 times this broadcast. Are you listening, 𝘀𝘀cie? 𝘀𝘀cie.
I am, but I only just clocked on that it was an acronym for 𝘀𝑠𝑏𝑡𝑐.
Yeah, super big time chicken.
Okay, I want to know more about what that's essentially come from, but 𝘀𝑠b𝑡𝑐, they're going for this late invade into the BTS blue buff, and that means that we might be getting a bit of a vertical jungling coming through, and I'd love to see that because it means we get to see 𝘀𝘀 playing more weak side and winning more 1v3s under his tower.
I mean, you can hope. That is certainly a possibility, but we are not going to get that. We are going to get some early action because, of course, we are. This is the VCS 𝘀𝗀 moving towards the top side. I think 𝘀𝑚 should win this 100% of the time, but I could be wrong. 𝘁𝗊 does have the red buff.
Well, it looks like Penguin is getting a bit scared. He's going to run into the brush.
Oh, he
and
wants
run
this.
his way out. Oh, 𝘀𝗀 wants
Jack's
in.
shield.
𝘀𝗀 wants to fight the 𝘀𝗚. Into the brush they go. Flash over the wall. But Penguin, oh, he's going to take damage from the 𝘀𝗀. He's going to smite the 𝘀𝗀 for some more health. 𝘀𝗀 does not have a smite. The chains will not land. But let's burst the 𝘀𝑠b𝑡𝑐. Says the jungler of 𝘀𝗀. It's a kill going their way. First blood for BTS.
What is up with 𝘀𝗀 on 𝘁𝗊 and getting early kills, man? We are seeing a skirmish in the mid lane. I don't think this should amount to much.
Win this?
Please?
When is his W back up? Because he might go in, and that's a lot of damage coming through. The flash forward. 𝘀𝗀 gets the kill, and 𝘀𝗀 gets revenge for game 2.
Yeah, it does indeed. He's gonna back away a very happy man. Gets the assist as well, but oh, you should have backed there, man!
Oh, 𝘀𝗀 gets out of the haymaker range. I'm loving this. You talked about how the gloves were off in the bottom lane. The gloves are off everywhere.
What is going on, man? We were praising both these teams for having up. Let's keep it going.
More action coming through. 𝘀𝗀 spotting out here. There's a big haymaker that could come through. 𝘀𝗀 flashes a haymaker. He's taking a fair amount of damage. Will tag. The wind becomes lightning. Goes in. 𝘀𝗀 gets a pick kill. Penguin shows up. It's a 2v1. 𝘀𝗀's gonna die. 𝘀𝗀, does he have enough Conqueror stacks? No, he doesn't. Teleport comes in from 𝘀𝗀. He jumps onto Penguin. He'll get the kill. Now 𝘀𝗀 joins into the Ray, this is just absolutely nuts.
First time. I'm surprised the bot lane didn't somehow magically find TPs, teleports, and join the fight themselves. But hey ho, sometimes you gotta live with what you get, I guess.
He's got double buffs now as well, by the way. He is going to be abusing 𝘀𝗀 in this matchup.
You want to talk about this being abused? Let's take a look at the mid lane. This Sylas is 2-1 and 2. He's looking very strong up against the side of Hero. I said that 𝘀𝗀 would not be able to carry, but he is trying his best to make me eat my words.
He really is trying. He's got a stack on the Dark Seal, but he's 10 CS on 𝘀𝗀. Meanwhile, 𝘀𝗀 has 26 because 𝘀𝗀's just been like, I'm playing Gwen. I don't want to roam. Just let me farm. But in the end, having to rotate down regardless. This game is... Okay, I can see your face there, Spoods. I'm loving this game. I think Twitch chat will be loving this game. I have no idea what they're spamming in the chat, but I'm sure they're spamming something. I think this is a good third game. This is what you want to see in game 3 between these two teams.
Yeah, I'm making this face not because I'm not enjoying what I'm watching right now. I am very much enjoying this Clown Fiesta. I support it wholeheartedly. Let's say that this is exactly why I'm making this face, because I have absolutely no analytical points to this. This is just Fiesta through and through. They're just gonna fight it out. It's a replay, so I have to talk. But the minions, they're just watching this like, what am I watching? What am I watching? 𝘀𝗀 gets the kill. That's a really good bait coming in from him. That's what I will say. He gets a TP back and gets a kill as well, but he's running for his life now.
Oh, he gets a movement speed. You lucky chicken. But BTS will be able to make his way out. But what is it with... Okay, 𝘀𝗀 and 𝘀𝗀 just going to cross paths. It's a highway. There's a barrier in the middle. They're not allowed to cross that barrier. Otherwise, they'll get fined by the police. But what is it with BTS minions just being OP? It was OP against 𝘀𝗀. Now it's being OP against Hero in the mid lane. There's some stuff going on.
I'm just not going to talk. You can have this.
Okay. 𝘀𝗀 runs into a brush. He hides in the brush. He pops a Scryer's Bloom to get vision. In the top side, 𝘀𝗀's saying, hey, 𝘀𝗀, you don't have double buffs anymore. I can play this matchup once again.
Yeah, he is playing this matchup. He is sort of abusing Ryuk to an extent. He's got a lot more CS. I think he should have a slight gold advantage as well over the Jax, even though Jax does have a kill and assist. At some point, though, this matchup flips, because Ryuk is just going to farm up. He's going to be a raid boss, like you said. At some point, he's going to be able to 1v3. So it's going to be up to this Gwen to be able to do something. 𝘀𝘀𝘀 wants a kill.
𝘀𝘀𝘀 does want a kill. Well, I think he wants to give a kill over to 𝘀�UE. He's going to be able to stop the backs from the SBTC bot lane, and with Drake up, that might give a window for BTS to be able to take the first Drake of the game, which they have been able to get in both games so far this series.
Do you remember what we were talking about 5 minutes ago?
Super
Win
fried chicken or
conditions.
something.
No, before that, we talked about win
Oh,
conditions.
okay, yeah, okay.
I just want to quickly revisit that because I pointed out Olaf, and right now he is 2-2-0, so there is a possibility of this jungler, this penguin, being able to do a little bit more on the map for the side of SBTC. They are somewhat behind at the moment in terms of gold, so this is absolutely what we need. Hero, though, does
He's
not
level
care.
6. Yeah. 𝘀𝘀𝘀, you can't fight that. You need level 6 yourself. Steal away the hero ult, then we get to see the double showstoppers, or as I like to call it, the show starter. But 𝘀𝘀 is on his way down. 𝘀𝘀, you're going to have to be an absolute beast in this play. He's running from Hero. Hero's on the chase. Now 𝘀𝘀 looking to turn this around because Dragthar has joined into the play. Wind becomes lightning. Facebreaker misses. And there is no chance for the Haymaker to keep Hero alive. He dies with his ultimate up. And he's died with his tail between his legs. 5 kills for BTS.
Very, very frightening. You know what this is? You know what this reminds me of? This was, you know,
VCS?
in the Well, yes, but also in the last game, Hero, on set still, has basically been doing what he's doing right now, right? He jumped in front of 𝘀𝘀𝘀 and just killed 𝘀𝘀𝘀, but that was because you were a late game set, right? You were very, very tanky. But at this point, you're an early game set. You're not very tanky. And 𝘀𝘀𝘀 has been escaping death time after time after time. And it's just not been working out for Hero, so I think what this set needs at this point is just a quick mental reset to just say that, hey, I need some time to ramp up to that place again. You can't be doing this, you can't be chasing around 𝘀𝘀𝘀 and that's not gonna work out.
So your analysis just reminds me of when I play ADC, because if I play ADC, I'll play a game of ADC, it'll be fine. But then the second game, I'll go into lane, and I'll think that my auto attacks do the same amount of damage as they did at the end of the last game, and I'll miss every single CS as we get an engage coming through from Ryuk. This is a 4v2, and somehow no one from BTS gets caught out. Now 𝘀𝘀𝘀 jumping into the fray. The Rift Herald has been secured by SBTC, but the fight will be secured by the side of BTS because SBTC are getting wiped. Ryuk will get taken down by Celebrity. Flame Chompers are dropped. Instant cleanse will keep Celebrity from being stunned, but the curtains have been called. The 4th shot will snipe down Celebrity. Penguin and CBL, the only members left standing. 𝘀𝘀𝘀 might want to go in nonetheless. Deadly Flourish will get sidestepped. Oh, but the Solar Flare is beautiful from 𝘀𝘀𝘀. 𝘀𝘀𝘀 get another kill, and BTS have 10 kills in under 10 minutes. It's looking like game 1, just more of a fiesta.
Yes, sir, I believe that was a delayed ace coming through from the side of 𝘀𝘀𝘀. They are looking like they have a very comfortable advantage right now, but it is once again SBTC's mistake that really leads to this. Let's take a look at where the damage is on the side of both these rosters. If you look at 𝘀𝘀, obviously your eyes are going over to the side of 𝘀𝘀𝘀, right? He has a lot of damage on this Sylas at the moment. This Xin Zhao is also doing a lot of work. But on the side of SBTC, you really only have the Olaf dealing damage. Your Jinx is not online. You're set. Sure, he's able to buy a little bit of time. He's not that tanky yet. He has his showstopper. And your Gwen is also not still online. So what are you going to do with only Penguin dealing damage? This is what is going to happen. Ryuk goes in first. This actually looks pretty okay, right? They're clumped up as a group. But then they remember, oh, they're gonna
more
fight.
fighting. More fighting. Goodbye, Olaf, and burst the set! Because Hero has fallen. This is what we expected from the mid lane matchup in Game 2. This is what we expected when 𝘀𝘀𝘀 went up against Hero. It didn't happen in Game 2. 𝘀𝘀𝘀 needed a game, well, I guess it's 2 games to warm up, but 1 game to warm up in the matchup against Hero. BTS are just completely in control.
Yeah, 𝘀𝘀𝘀 is a good player, but my real issue with 𝘀𝘀𝘀, since I didn't really expand on this at the start of the day, was that, sure, if he gets a hit on Sylas, he plays well. but he's oftentimes is unable to get himself a lead on 𝘁𝗷. But guess what? If the enemy set is just going to bash his face into your wall over and over and over and over and over again, that lead just starts to build itself, right? And now we are seeing 6-1 and 4 𝘀𝘀 with a very dominant performance on this 𝘁𝗷, and it doesn't look like it's going to be stopping any time soon.
So far, so good for BTS. Even 𝘀𝗰𝗍, 20 CS up on Celebrities Jinx, 2-0 and 2. Once that Gale Force is completed, which, to be honest, might not be too far away, as we get a replay of what happened in the bottom side river.
It was just 𝘀𝗀 walking around a corner and seeing Hero. And at this point, 𝘀𝘀 shows up, and 𝘀𝘀 is extremely fed. A teleport as well, just invested, and the rest of Sky just shows up. So, yeah, it was a bit of a mistake. I want to say that Sky's 𝘀𝗀 walked around the corner with no vision. But at this point, they are just strong enough to weather any storm that SBTC can throw at them. SBTC, they really need a lot more resources going into their main carries, into this Jinx, into this Gwen, in order for them to do a little bit more. This Olaf was 2-2 and 0. He's now 2-4 and 1. I called Penguin a really good facilitator. Let's do some facilitating, man.
Hero's going to go towards the bottom side, but 𝘀𝘀 has a teleport ward. Can it join in to the fray? Solar Flare onto 3 members, but Celebrity's going to fall. And even if 𝘁𝗀 dies, it's a 1-for-1. The curtain's called. And, well, 𝘁𝗀 will eventually fall, but it is a 1-for-1 as now 𝘀𝗀 joins into the play. This is a 2v4 fight right now. It's 2v4, but BTS are still doing work. 𝘀𝗀 will fall, and the 4 members of SBTC stay alive. As we see 𝘀𝘀 picking up the kill onto Endpoint. Now he looks for Hero. He's got 10 stacks on the Dark Seal. Hero's forced to sidestep, and he sidesteps into 𝘀𝘀's waiting arms. 𝘀𝗰𝗍 picks up the kill. 15 kills for BTS. They come out on top. Meanwhile, Rick proxy farming in the top lane.
Yeah, just casual proxy farming. It was really, really good answer coming in from 𝘀𝗀. They saw the telegraph play. They knew the SBTC. They were going towards the bot side. They invested teleport in order to respond from the side of 𝘀𝘀. They respond in time, most importantly. And at that point, 𝘀𝘀 just beats everybody up with their wallets. But if we get a replay, I want to take a look at what SBTC was doing over there, because it just sort of smells of desperation here. Take a look at what Hero is doing. The engage goes in. Hero puts down the Rift Herald, and by the time both teleports come down, Hero might as well have just teleported himself, right? He gets there in time, but at this point, yeah, you pick up the 1 kill. 𝘀𝗀's here as well. 𝘀𝘀 got the TP in, and like I said, it's just the case of 𝘀𝗀 having so much damage that SBTC cannot answer. Like you said, 2v4, 𝘀𝗰𝗍 got some auto attacks off, but it was mostly 𝘀𝘀 and 𝘀𝗀 being at the right place at the right time, dealing tons and tons of damage that really secured this win for the side of 𝘀𝗀.
And this is Set doing this early game. That was before he had a full item completed. Yes, he had 10 stacks on his Dark Seal, but that still feels like way too much damage. And now he's got the Everfrost finished. He might be getting a Medjay's as well. SBTC, they're still set on this idea of camping in the bottom lane, trying to force 𝘀𝗰𝗍 and 𝘁𝗀 away. And 𝘀𝗰𝗍 and 𝘁𝗀, they're saying, you know what, fine. We'll just walk away. We don't need to risk anything. We're 5k gold up.
Yeah, that feels like the name of the game. Let's look at where the gold is, though. Oh, well, we don't have time for that. 𝘀𝘀's... I wanted to say he's caught, but he's just sort of dancing under the tower.
No, it's a 4v1 here, and once again, BTS will show how to execute a tower dive without dying. They'll show how to pick up a mid lane tower as well. What hope is there for SBTC Esports? What hope is there for the SBT Esports fans for how they can get back into this game?
Okay, let's put it this way, alright? The gold lead right now is 6,000 for the side of SBTC. They really desperately need to get this Jinx ahead. However, the way they get this Jinx ahead has not really been cutting it, because I say desperately, they've taken that term and have expanded on it like 10 times. The plays that SBTC have been making are either not enough or way too much. They are reeking of desperation, and when you play desperately in League of Legends, you throw the game so much more easily. And 𝘀𝗀, they've just been there to pick it up every single time. They're going to get this Rift Herald. Chances are they're going to get some form of tower, probably one of the tier 2s is where I would look to put it, and just crack open this map so much more for themselves. And SBTC, they've got to stem this bleeding. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if they've shown like they know how to stem bleeding all that much this series.
and we've spoken about in the past how BTS are good when they get ahead. They don't get ahead very often, but when they do, as we've seen already in Game 1 this series, they have shown themselves to be very clinical. There's going to be a second Drake going their way. They've got a Rift Herald in their pockets as well, courtesy of 𝘀𝘀, and we'll have to see where they want to put it. It looks like they might be going towards the bottom lane.
Yep, I will say the one silver lining at the moment is that Jinx does have an item lead, sort of, on the Jhin. So that is one avenue that, you know, you could look to attack from, have a Jinx in a team fight. If that Jinx starts to get excited, one stack is going to come into 2 stacks and going to be coming 3 stacks. But that's a front-to-back team fight that I'm not entirely sure 𝘀𝑠BTC would be able to get at this point, right? They are going to crack this bottom tower. That's going to be all 3 towers going down to 𝘀𝑠𝘀. Still with the Rift Herald not used. I like how they saved it. I like how they're still threatening with it. And 𝘀𝑠BTC, they have to sort of position their members in a way that they can answer wherever 𝘀𝘀 decides to put down Herald.
And we're still seeing 𝘀�UE with the Dark Seal. He's not upgraded that into a 𝘁𝑖's just yet. Do you think he does? Or do you think he leaves it as a Dark Seal and just prioritizes getting a Zhonya's and, well, knowing how far ahead he is, maybe even a Rabadon's Death Cap?
I personally don't even like to see Dark Seal in competitive, but my guy is 8-1 and 5. Just build, just get the 𝘁𝑖's. Why not? Like, if you're gonna do it, just commit to it, right? You're having a great game. Just say, all right, whatever, this game is mine. I'm gonna prove everybody. I'm gonna prove Spoots wrong. I'm gonna have a great game on Sylas, and he's never gonna say I'm bad on Sylas ever again. Just buy the 𝘁𝑖's, dude.
Well, he has bought the 𝘁𝑖's. There you go. He's proving you right. Or proving you wrong. I can't remember.
One of the two. We'll find out.
One of the two. You're either right or wrong. We'll have to listen back to the voice for that one. 50%. I mean, this game was a 50-50 at the start of the game. It's now, well, not quite a 50-50. It's more like a 95-5. I think that's reasonable.
When you look at, you know, the roster 𝘀𝑠BTC has, right, and the composition they have, I'm inclined to give them 5% more, so 90-10.
Okay.
I think 90-10 is fair.
You're talking about the roster. Ryuk's been having a good series.
He has, though.
Into Game 2. 𝘀𝘀 played bad in Game 2, but that was more because he was playing Udyr. We don't talk about 𝘀𝑠BTC because that never happened.
Who?
Exactly.
IDK her. But 𝘀𝑠BTC is now back on the Leona, and you didn't quite like... I mean, well, you'd think I was overrating his performance on Leona in the first game, correct? But he's been having a pretty solid performance across the day, I think.
So, okay, to go back to what we were saying, so in Game 1, 𝘀𝑠BTC played on this Leona. We're going to have to hold that thought. That's Flay coming through AME, and he's going to be able to flash from the death centers. Now teleport's coming in as well. Crescent Guard, 𝘀𝘀 going to be able to stay alive. And it's 1 kill already going over to the side of 𝘀𝑠𝘀. Ryuk now dropping in. Needlework going to do some work. The stolen showstopper. So much damage. 𝘀𝑠BTC get wiped. Hero joins into the play. He's looking. I don't know who he wants to go on. I think he's trying to run back to his base. Trying to go for 𝘀�UE. Gets taken down. We're not even 20 minutes into the game, Spoods. 21 kills for BTS. I'm trying to think if this game is more dominant than Game 1. I don't think so.
I don't think so, just because 𝘀𝑠BTC started out ahead. Right?
Hmm.
And Hero, that play was just turbo inting. He still has his ult, by the way. And he used both teleport and flash. That was just turbo inting. I'm not entirely sure what the game plan was there. You want to run back to your base? There are a million other ways you can do it without running into the rest of 𝘀𝑠𝘀.
Yeah. So to go, actually, I'll give you a chance to analyze this fight.
Yeah, this is difficult. I mean, 𝘀𝑠𝘀, they get a really good disengage, right? All things considered, they get the 1 kill onto the Olaf, and that's really the only Fed member that 𝘀𝑠BTC has at the moment, if you can even call it that. And the rest of this is just right. We see low health bars. We have gold. We are gonna jump in. We're gonna kill them, and this is just turbo inting.
He flashes at the end. I mean, an auto wouldn't have even been enough to kill 𝘀�UE. Okay, so to go back to what we were saying and talking about 𝘀𝑠's Leona. In Game 1, I think 𝘀𝑠 played a good Leona. But essentially what I was seeing is 𝘀𝑠 just had so much confidence to be able to step up. And he'd literally walk into about 3 members of 𝘀𝑠BTC and zone them away by himself because 𝘀𝑠BTC just couldn't approach anything. And okay, this is one way back into the game, one way to stall the game. But sadly, yeah, it's it's been spotted out, and right now 𝘀𝗶𝗆𝐶, they're trying to coin flip this because they think this is their only way back into the game. The Baron has been secured, but can they win the fight? 𝘁𝗈's still alive, 𝘀𝗀's still alive, the Thresh has been taken down, and BTS are just going to run through 𝘀𝗶𝗆𝐶 as the Jinx will fall. 𝘀𝗀 and Hero still alive, 𝘀𝗀 tagged, 𝘀𝗀 taken down. It is only the set left standing, and sure, Hero has the Baron buff, but I don't think that's worth it.
It isn't worth it. I mean, this is just, yeah, desperation once again. I think this has been the theme coming in from 𝘀𝗶𝗆𝐶, right? We sort of, I think the point I came into today saying was that 𝘀𝗀 doesn't really know how to play from behind. 𝘀𝗶𝗆𝐶, they're looking horrendous from behind at the moment. Sure, that might have been the only avenue to get back into the game. I commend the effort that you go to look for it. But that just wasn't it at the moment. I think you still had a few more minutes of life left in you, right? If you can just chill out and not look for fights like that. But a good answer coming in from 𝘀𝗀. They find out that they're doing the Baron, and let's take a look at what happens. First of all, the curtain call doesn't really do anything. There's just Jin getting nice starting salvos going off. But look at this. 𝘀𝗀 does not care, dude. Ryuk doesn't care, 𝘁𝗈 doesn't care, 𝘁𝗈 dies, but it doesn't even matter. You don't even need your ADC at this point. Draktar, Ryuk, and 𝘀𝗀, they just run in, they're saying, okay, we are tanky, we have tons of damage, we're all basically bruisers, you're just gonna die. And 𝘀𝗶𝗆𝐶, they go for the desperate play, it doesn't work out, and this is just gonna seal the deal if it hasn't already for 𝘀𝗀.
Yep, and you know, we talk about the BTS acronyms, you know, burst the 𝘀𝗶𝗆𝐶, burst the Zygon. Well, it's also, right now for 𝘀𝗀, build the stacks, because he's got 25 stacks on that 𝘁𝗀ice.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, if you want to go with the puns, might as well just change BTS to BTM, right? Burst the mental, because that's what they're doing to 𝘀𝗶𝗆𝐶. Oh man, it's just so unfortunate. I thought they sort of fixed their communication issues, sort of like synergy issues coming in to this game by basically what we saw last game, right? They play like a really cohesive unit. But the moment that 𝘀𝗀 sort of bit back and said, alright, we're going to pick a decent composition and we're going to make Hero in. We're going to mind control Hero to just run it down mid, go 0 and 8. And the rest of 𝘀𝗶𝗆𝐶 was just like, we don't have an answer to this. We don't know what to do.
I feel like 𝘀𝗶𝗆𝐶 said at the start of the game, we're going to like do 3 coin flips, and every single coin flip landed tails. And from that point, as 𝘀𝗀 said, okay, we're ahead. We'll just win this game.
𝘀𝗀 is a fully stacked 𝘁𝗀ice at the moment. They're going in again.
They are going in again. I don't see how this one goes. Draktar will go gold, and he'll probably die as soon as he comes out. It's going okay for 𝘀𝗶𝗆𝐶, but now Ryuk is joining into the fray. It's going to be a 2-man stun, a 2-man solar flare. 2 more kills for 𝘀𝗀. It's a double kill for the Jin. Celebrity on the run. He misses every single blooming ult, auto, whatever you want to call it, but it doesn't matter because everyone from 𝘀𝗶𝗆𝐶 are dead. 𝘀𝗀 will take down the inhibitor tower. They will take the inhibitor as well. 𝘀𝗀 has been burst the Zygon. It's been burst the 𝘀𝗶𝗆𝐶, burst the set. But most importantly, it has been burst the script, because they take down 𝘀𝗶𝗆𝐶 Esports and they will take their first series of the VCS Winter Split 2021.
That they do, and what a commanding fashion they did it in. 30-70, 25 minutes on the clock. You could not be happier if you were a 𝘀𝗀 fan. This team is looking super good, and earlier you brought up the point about perhaps they're doing a 𝘀𝗀cie week 1 cosplay. I think they might even be better than a 𝘀𝗀cie week 1 cosplay at this point.
Ooh, better. But they lost the game. 𝘀𝗀cie didn't lose the game.
But they were so dominant in the other games. But you win, you take some and you give some. Let's put it that way.
We take some and we give some. We'll also take some analysis as well, as our wonderful analyst Tim will rejoin us. Tim, what were your thoughts on that game? Because, well, 𝘀𝗶𝗆𝐶 did not look in tip-top shape.
No, they absolutely don't. I mean, if you look back and if you think about going into the day, if you just look at the games, and I mean afterwards you can only say that BTS won, absolutely deserved, and they should have probably been the favorite. I mean, they looked they played really good League of Legends. Even game 2, I think, was a close affair, and I think there was just a huge difference in draft. And that lost them a game. I think if 𝘀𝗰𝗋, for example, has more peel in the game, the Aphelios gets to auto-attack more, then it can be an easy win. I don't think they played badly. I think they had no chance coming out of draft. So overall, I think they played really good today. And if they keep that form, then I think they are actually contender to move up and maybe even go for a playoffs run.
Okay, 𝘀cie, I want to throw to you with a difficult question. And
Oh, no.
that is, if you consider the level of all of the teams from week 1, and you take this performance from 𝘀𝘀_𝗀𝗀, where would you put them in the overall rankings?
It's not so much of a difficult question than it is a very speculatory question, right? I think
True.
we have to sort of level this with the fact that SBTC had a
Bad series.
They underperformed, not by a whole lot. They underperformed a little bit. This was by far and away just 𝘀𝘀_𝗀𝗀 coming in, winning the game. I would put them. Oof. Well, now that I think about it, is a difficult question. I think I'd put them second.
Ooh, okay, I mean,
But
to be
second to Cerberus, in my opinion.
Second to Cerberus. Okay, you're
Yeah,
still
I
not
think-
on the luxury hype train, right?
No, by power rankings, I think luxury, sure, you're up there, but I think that luxury roster loses to this 𝘀𝘀_𝗀𝗀 roster, but this 𝘀𝘀_𝗀𝗀 performance loses to Cerberus.
Okay, fair enough. Tim, do you want to add anything to that?
I mean, I'm not sure if I would put him after this performance. I mean, if they clean up draft and the second game doesn't happen, then maybe. But I would say I definitely see them as a top 4 team. I wouldn't quite put them second place yet, but I mean, they have a whole week now to prove us wrong and tell us that they can definitely just go for a top 2 run.
Well, is this the week for 𝘀𝘀_𝗀𝗀? Well, we'll have to see in future series. Either way, this series does draw to a close. 𝘀𝘀_𝗀𝗀 takes a 2-1 win against SBTC Esports, a statement win as well. We're going to be jumping on into a break, and when we return, we will be having our second series of the day as 𝘀𝗀 take on 𝘀𝑓lash. Stay tuned.